And welcome back to the Maconi Setup Shop, 24 hours of Daytona here from the Virtual Sports Car Association. If you're just tuning in to what is now going to be, I believe now, part 4 of our broadcast here this afternoon. My name is Oliver Emble alongside Sky Shrek. We'll be bringing you the action over the next hour or so before Teddy Lowendick jumps into the broadcast here before too long. Sky, welcome to hour number 14.
I'm pleased to be here. That's a lot of hours.
It's a lot of hours with a lot still left to go as well. 11 hours are left here on the boards this afternoon. And, well, before we get this race fully underway once again, going to give another quick shout here to the folks that keep the lights on, of course, here for this field here this afternoon. When you want to be the best, you can't settle for the rest. For anything on iRacing, there's just one name you need, Maconi. With the Maconi Setup Shop, they now provide the best of the best in setups, paint schemes, coaching, and event organization. With cars across all 4 licensed classes, they have what you need to hit the track with confidence. Grab a subscription starting at just $8 a month and save money while going fast at MaconiSetupShop.com/subscriptions. And remember, at Maconi Setup Shop, they're their setups, but your victories.
And I would like to note that you should go subscribe to Maconi Setup Shop because Jeff is a great guy and he got me a bunch of snacks for Christmas. So there you go.
I hear
fun my Christmas snacks.
I hear your broadcast dinner is 30 miniature Slim Jims, followed by 2 Dr. Peppers, and I thought I read peanut butter and jelly. I just now realized it read as a jar of peanut butter. So that's...
Yeah. You can never be too prepared.
You're here for 4 hours.
Yeah, well, you know, it's a long time. It's kind of like a whole flight. You bring snacks on a plane, I assume, right?
Actually, no. I'm insane that way.
That's your problem. You gotta get your snacks before you go on the plane.
I just bring an MP3 player. That'll keep me happy for the next however long I'm on the flight for.
There you go. You want to give us a little bit of a race recap of where we've been over the last couple hours and who's up front?
Well, so far up front, it's VSR Competizione Bianco, and that, of course, comes off of a very wild accident that happened to bring out our next safety car period here the afternoon. Twin Turn SR-V by Rebecca Bornheim, back up front with Ryan Serlich here on the top of the grid. Then, of course, iRacing Today Motorsports VSCA jumping Timothy Johnson up on a pole. We talked to these guys earlier on today. They've been having a pretty good run. And then Intercom Fisher Motorsports, after having problems earlier on with Ryan Steinhoff, they were going around for a spin or two. They have now found themselves back up and ready for more here as well. So a lot of racing has been absolutely stellar throughout the course of the afternoon. A lot of drivers have been showing quite a bit of gusto here and wanting to get themselves in with some good, solid racing. But I'll tell you what, it has been a ride, and there was that absolutely massive multi-way GTP crash coming down into the West Horseshoe here, right? You had one car that was multiple laps down, run into the back and clean out the top 2 of your GTP category, which is why we now see Sergio Lazer up at the front on a complete shakeup of the order so far. Our next set of wave buys going through now.
It's always rough to crash in an enduro, but when you make it the full 12 hours in, you're into the night, you're thinking you've just got to have a quiet run, and then you get blown up in hour 13. That might be one of the worst feelings you can have on iRacing.
Yes, sir. One of the worst feelings indeed, as well, the pack going to get sorted here before too long. Sergio Lazer still leading the way. At this point in time, you know, you're under, I believe, what is now our 14th full course yellow of the day here, Sky. How do you as a driver reset that mentality? Because you're about to get into it after what has been one of our longer green flag runs of the race so far. And as we've seen, those restarts can be awful hectic.
Yeah, you kind of need to be locked in. It can be so easy to lose focus as one of these races goes on, especially when you've just had a long run under caution. You haven't really been sticking with it. Your mind might be wandering elsewhere. You pull the phone out of your pocket, do some texting. But when that green flag flies again, you've got to just put all of that out of your mind and make sure you're back going, or else we are going to see another yellow pretty quickly.
Well, the field cutting their way on through. And several drivers are going to be working their way on. They're going to work their way on through the field, and you see those wave bys going through now. And the wave bys so far have not been so much of an issue like what we saw in the Roar before the 24 earlier on. And after this wave by goes by, from there we will be able to get the class sort, and we'll be able to fight our way through from here. So 11 hours still on the cards, and right now current in-sim time 2:51 a.m. Sunrise not anticipated for about another 4.5 hours here. 7:19 a.m. is when we can anticipate to see that sun cresting back over the horizon. That is around when the headlights will turn off. Same with the stadium lights. So sunrise, not for a good long while yet. And if you're some of the fans of the stands, I'm sure that they're starting to feel it now. They've been here since about 1 p.m.
I was going to say, the one thing I was a little bit disappointed about is that we didn't really have a chance of rain here. This is going to be overwhelmingly a dry race. It was 90% humidity on that graphic you showed, but unfortunately no rain in the forecast. I would have liked to see that.
Well, that forecast so far, 18 kilometers an hour of wind up to the north, 20 degrees Celsius in the air, and on the racetrack, humidity has actually gone down just a little bit here. 89%. It was up to 93 earlier on. No chance of rain, though. The biggest chance of rain was actually earlier on in this race. It only jumped up to about 8%, though. Since then, it's been relatively smooth sailing. This is anticipated to be a completely dry race.
In case you are wanting that 20 degrees Celsius in freedom units, it is 68 degrees Fahrenheit currently on the track.
All of that as this field continues to pace around here at Daytona. Now, obviously, Scott, you and I are no strangers to safety cars. We've both seen them before in FTR, particularly when you and I were working together at the Circuit Gilles Villeneuve over in Montreal. Earlier on in 2025. Most of the classes looking like they have been sorted, so GT Pros lined up behind the GTMs, and the only GTP cars still at the tail end are those that are currently in the midst of the LMP2 traffic as well. Most of the GT field, believe it or not, still on the on different laps to one another here, and in fact, GT Pro, that field's sitting about 5 laps ahead of the GTMs right now overall, so no chance on there being some disparities in class divisions here.
Yeah, we'll see how that all plays out when we go back green. I'm interested to see that there is only, currently looks like 4 cars on the lead lap up in that GTP class, because I'm assuming it's going to be a pretty tight race between those cars, and then maybe some of the ones further back, like that 51 World of Sim Racing car or the V1M10 car, going to hope for some more yellows to try to make their 1 and 2 laps back.
And every safety car period that you get those laps back, it allows for drivers to continue to fight it out deeper and deeper and deeper into this race, right? I mean, we've seen quite a few drivers like Red Light Competizione and the BMW M Team Delta Racing crews that have been trying to battle their way back. And in fact, BMW M Team, the guys that are running right now 21st on the grid here, these guys at one point, we're talking 25 laps down. Now they're only 15, and still with 11 hours to go, they're getting closer and closer to the lead lap here, and it's not over. Yeah, they can still very much get out here and potentially get some more laps back and definitely some more positions before this race is out. That's why I love the fact that these guys get the chance to get wave arounds here under these safety car periods, because it gives guys a huge reason to stay in the race, if not just for more points.
Yeah, it closes everybody back up, and it makes sure that the remainder of the racing here, once we go back green after this safety car, is going to be more entertaining, because you've got a lot of cars still racing for something, still trying to find those positions.
All of this with just under 11 hours now still on the cards. And the class sort still has not taken into effect. You still see a lot of the GT cars in the midst with some of this GTP traffic. Sky, we were talking a little bit about dinner just a little while ago. We were talking earlier in the race as well about what drivers have for an early breakfast. For some drivers, they're going to be waking up pretty early in the morning. If you had to wake up, and we're talking like 4 a.m. to run the last few hours of this race, what'd you be eating for breakfast to get some gas into your tank as well?
I actually did this with, it was the Jimmy Broadbent charity 24-hour race. I signed myself up to run I believe it was the 3 a.m. to 5:30 a.m. section for my own team, and let me tell you, I had about 3 Lunchables in my fridge that I was plowing through.
Ooh, Lunchables. What kind?
I can't remember. It was a couple years ago, but I'm a big fan of the nachos, so it was probably one of those.
Oh, fair enough. I'm a bologna stackables or a pepperoni pizza guy myself.
I think the nachos are good. The pizza is good too. I like the pizza.
The pizzas are surprisingly good at that.
Yeah. I haven't had one in a while. Maybe I should get one.
And now we're talking. It'll be too late, unfortunately, for me, because I'm going to be producing this thing until it's about midnight local time.
Yeah, have fun with that.
Yeah, I'm not going to be able to do that. All the stores are going to be closed. But I got a frozen pizza in the fridge for me waiting at least, so I get to have that when I'm done eating here this afternoon. Now you see GTP cars making their way, so the glass sword is now in effect, which means, of course, the green flag is not too far away. We should get this race back going here before too much longer. It is GTPs to the front, followed by LMP2s, followed by GT Pros, and then, of course, GTMs.
I think we're going to be here till about the same time tonight, but I'm in a different time zone, so I will be here until 2 a.m., which is going to be fun.
Ooh.
I've always advocated for a race where the commentators do 24 hours as well.
Yeah.
Like one set of commentators.
That sounds like sore throats.
If you ever want to pay me to do it, I will. I'll put that out there.
I don't know if I could afford to pay one commentator to do that. The overtime of that would be staggering.
Oh, it will be. You know, it like multiplies every hour, and we're making like $600 an hour by the end.
Oh, there you go.
Like a lawyer.
Oh, see, now you're thinking like a true businessman.
Mm-hmm.
Dalton Frederick,
yeah.
6334 wondered if there's a Discord that can be joined for the league. There is. You can find that through the VSCA website. Bring yourself and a team, and who knows? Maybe we could see you on the grid in time for Long Beach.
Still doing another lap here under the full course yellow, but it looks like cars are still trying to get together. The LMP2s are starting to catch the line. A couple different classes all pulling in, so hopefully it won't be too much longer before we get some racing back here.
Not uncommon for these yellow flags to take upwards of 15 minutes here. We saw a good number of them, a couple of them over half an hour during the roar before the 24. Of course, remember, restart rules dictate that if there is a safety car within 15 minutes of the race going green, it will be a quick one, which means we eliminate a few of the steps to get back to racing faster. The caveat to that, you can't have 2 quickie safety cars back to back. So that is why we see this one being a little bit longer. It was past 15 minutes, obviously, from the last time we had one, but it's not uncommon that we see a quickie yellow coming out pretty early after the initial safety car that slowed us down. Cautions, precautions have been a huge theme throughout the race today.
Well, I think we're going to hope for some green flag racing here over the next, I would say, approximately 3 hours and 43 minutes, because that is when I am on the call. And let me tell you, I think this is going to be some great racing once it does get back going.
You reckon we go green for 3 hours and 40? We haven't been able to do that yet.
I'm manifesting it. I'm bringing it.
You're manifesting it. You're manifesting it. Interesting.
3 hours, 43 minutes green. Put it in the books.
Well, that timer is going to start now. Green flag is back in the air. You heard it here first. If we make it to about 7 hours and 5 minutes, and Sky Shrek's wish has come true. Green flag is out. Sergio Lazare for VSR Competition taking off down in towards turn number 1, and this is where the big story is going to be here this afternoon. Do we see any big pileups here into the opening quarter? So far, the GTPs on approach are clean and green.
Everyone in GTP makes it through pretty good. You've got the LMP2s who are going to start working their way down into the corner. A couple cars off the track there. 14 Racing Team Blue went wide. He's going to lose about 3 or 4 positions there, but will stay on the track.
And then you got, of course, your GT Pro and Anfields working their way through as well. A little bit of side-by-side action deeper in the pack. And in fact, here, the fight for a big spot here. This is for the lead in GTM. It's VSCA Racing leading the way ahead of second and third place on the order. They're all able to gather things up. And a solid drive so far throughout the field. Southway's also under fire in their LMP2 categories. They approach turn 6.
And you've got some cars trying to dice their way through some slower traffic. The No Limit Sim Racing Academy, number 2, struggling to get around some GT cars right now in that GTP. It's not going very well for the driver of the 2. He's now back under threat for the 57. That could get scary there in a little bit for that car.
Screaming down the Daytona super stretch and into the Le Mans chicane on the back straightaway. This the ever tight moments here. Do we see anybody daring to go side by side? Haven't seen it too much yet. And so the field going to be able to gather things on up here for the time being. GTN's working their way through the chicane now. They're going to get through just fine, and no move made it to turn 1. Sergio Lazare continues to lead.
7 Car has done a really great job of managing this run so far and keeping himself out in front of that 12 as we're side by side. A little bit deeper back in the field there. Some cars going at it further back. And I'm trying to take a look at what number that is. There we go. It's the V1M number 11. That is currently 3rd in the LMP2 class. Side-by-side racing now going on behind him with that track limit sim racing Thunderbolt 420 in the RTR 87. Running 4th and 5th, the 87 being that pink car, the 420 being that black car right there. The 11's holding that battle up for now. 420 will take a little bit of a peek, but the 11 car shuts the door.
Boy, that was quite an aggressive look to the inside there for a track limit sim racing Thunderbolt. And the number 420 able to pull that car underneath him. Meanwhile, V1M up the road, trying to make some moves happen further up the grid. And there is Pax Simsport and John Jevicki into pit road, and going to get a new driver into the car for them as they make their way back out onto the racetrack here before too long. Further down the field, GT Pro up for grabs as well. iRacing today, Motorsports VSCA, and Blanco Motore, one of the dominant Aston Martins of the afternoon, trying to apply pressure to the back of Timothy Johnston.
Wonder what happened with that kind of awkwardly timed pit stop there, because you just had a whole 15, 20-minute long caution where you could have made that driver change. Now you got to do it under green, and you're going to lose quite a few laps, I would have to imagine. At least one making that driver change.
Cruising down now through turn numbers, through NASCAR 3 and 4, and making their way to the front straightaway. A look to the outside. Tyler Redden trying to make the move on Johnston. Johnston drops down to second. Can Redden hold it around the outside line though into turn 1? Answer, no, he cannot do it. And that is going to allow Johnston to retain the lead of the GT Pro category through turn 1.
Great battle ongoing there with that 157 and the 183. 157 car holds that lead, but Tyler Redden for Blanco Motore is trying to get it back. We'll see what he can do. This isn't really a passing zone down here through this set of corners. I wonder if he might wait until the time they go back on the oval, try to make a move down through there.
Tends to be the decision of choice for a lot of contenders throughout the grid. Now the fight's showing no signs of slowing down anytime soon. Tyler Redden continuing to power up to the back of Timothy Johnston in that 157. Will we see a look coming into the Le Mans chicane of the back straightaway, or will it be made into turn 1?
Well, he'll have a couple chances here. I would imagine the chicane is probably the place where you would want to get it done because it's going to be a better braking zone than turn 1, but he's not close enough to pull it off that time, and the 183 is just going to have to maximize the exit here. Maximize not only that, but the draft that he gets down this straightaway as well, and see if he can use that to take a little bit of peek up into turn 1.
Trouble for Henna Hakkinen going around on the back chute here. And you see that car getting a little bit tore up here as a result. This is Rusty Spatula's VSCA having issues. Some sparks flying off the back as this car found the wall, perhaps. Take a jump back and find out. Too much curb on the exit. Loops the McLaren. Whoa, boy. That looks like a hardware failure to me, if I'm being honest, for a brief second.
That was close. Battle for the lead still going again in GTP. Tyler Redden had a move on the inside there down into turn 3, but he couldn't make it stick. Timothy Johnston held that spot, and he will hang on to that lead as Redden is all over this racetrack, trying to find a line that will get him the run he needs to actually clear that iRacing Today Motorsports car.
And troubles for Red Lab Competizione here. A lot of damage once again to the 554. They've got a black flag as well as a meatball flag. So whatever damage they have here could very well be terminal. And this is what happened coming on down into the Le Mans chicane. Oh, too much curve on the way in. Look out. Oh, and he clips the edge of the tires. That rebounded him with a violent pirouette into the secondary wall there as well.
Yeah, that is what we consider not good.
Suboptimal, to put it mildly. And that is going to bring Daniel Perez Santiago, a driver that has already been mired in incidents throughout the course of the day, back down and into the box. Well, they're side by side for third in LMP2. Oh, man, near door-to-door contact between the pair.
And they're side by side behind him as well, so even if one car gets clear, this battle isn't going to end. Near contact back there with these cars who have been going at it basically all night long. It's that 87 RTR car. Nearly made that hit, and now Lucas Hankey is on the bumper of that car. Looks like to be a lap down, but he's not racing like it as he's trying to clear all 3 of these cars up in front of him.
Blanco Motores' Tyler Redden makes the pass for GT Pro for the class lead, while the battle for third in LMP2 remains a hotly contested one here this afternoon. So these drivers going to keep picking up the fight here. No look can be made this time by into the backstretch chicane, but we could very well see one coming back down to the turn 1.
These drivers have been doing battle for a long time now. And if you're the 420 of Gregory Meismer up here, you just want to get away. You do not want to be in this battle. Because the more time you spend fighting with these cars, the slower it's going to make you and the less you're going to be able to pursue. Babcock and Soralik up there, 2 leaders in class.
Yes, sir. The fight's going to keep up on the brutal pace that we have seen so far here this afternoon. It has been a tall order for several drivers here in this deal, as Kyle Allen for V1M and Afonso Reyes for Rick Team Racing. Oh, they continue to show their mettle here, looking to make any which way, moves any which way they can. Fights on for the lead, by the way, in GTP, as you've got VSCA Competizione Bianco's Sergio Lazer and Douglas Souza now looking to go nose to tail. 0.4 of a second separate them with a run down to the chicane.
There's runs going in every class. GTP's got that battle for the lead. The 2 GTP cars, or the GT Pro cars, who have been going at it for a while now, have not been able to get away from each other. And then you've got the GT AM class as well with Ralti and Della Ringa. Those 2 cars are only about 0.6 of a second back. Battles all up and down the field. This is the battle for third in GT AM. You've got Ryan Steinhoff just getting passed by Christopher Limprecht in the 515 Wolf Motorsport car.
And Wolf Motorsports getting around Intercom Fishing Motorsports here as we battle to the International Horseshoe. And right now, the Foes attack, number 515, continuing to just barely cling on to that final podium position, making good use of the GT traffic around him. Just a little ways up the road, the fight for the lead as well between SRN, TFR Alliance, and Wastegate Racing, looking like it could be brought to a head as well. Daniel Gralti and Luca Delaringa tight, and they're in the midst of a lot of GT Pro traffic as well that's looking to break up the order.
And Limprecht in the 515 is going to join that battle here pretty soon for that top two cars in class, trying to make it a three-way battle for the lead of GTAM at the moment. No one's really been able to get away up here in any class. The biggest gap is GTP at 1.5 seconds, and even that was tight about a lap ago.
And we're talking down to 0.4 of a second, and that gap only broke apart as a result of a lot of, well, traffic exactly like what we're seeing here getting into the mix. And there's going to have to be a look to the outside. So Fisher Motorsports, two of the GT Pro sister cars getting in the way here. And this is going to allow for a side-by-side battle for the GTM Class Lead coming down the front straightaway. Twin Mercedes looking to duke it out. Gralti versus Delaringo. Which one wins out? Look out for the GTP up high. Oh, bounces off the wall. And that's going to be tight. The GTP is forced to yield. And it's going to be a fight that is won out by Gralti just barely still in turn one.
Now he's shoved on the outside of that GTP car. So this is very, very far from over as Delaringa continues in pursuit. He'll have the inside here into this corner. You've got Limprecht right behind this battle as well, but he's kind of trapped in by some of these cars who are trying to lap this whole group. He's not able to get away, and now you've got a lot of cars and not a lot of space. Some trying to lap, some trying to battle. Everything's going down back here.
Keep in mind, you've got yourself the battle for the overall lead that's in the mix here. A three-way fight trying to battle their way through as Circulus Air, Douglas Souza, and Kyle Burney all looking set to try and make some aggressive lunges. Kyle Burney, in fact, trying to take that one down the inside of BMW M Team Delta Racing. Not able to get the job done, though. And so the battles break apart again in GTP as they make their way back out onto the oval. But boy, a bit of a nerve-wracking moment for a hot second there in the GTP and the GTM race leads, but they're able to survive it.
And Delaringa lost quite a bit of time there to Daniel Gralti. He's really going to have to work to close that back up for the lead of that class. Looks like some cars maybe separating them as well now, so it's going to be a lot of work to do both for Delaringa and for that 515 car to get their way back up there. Closest battle for the lead is still that one up in GTP Pro with Tyler Redden and Timothy Johnson. But those lead lap cars, or those leader cars of Lazare and Souza that we just saw go through the GT Am field are going to be getting up to the front of that GT Pro pack before too long.
Well, Motorsports under fire here. Here comes yet another GT car trying to go around the long way here. And that is, of course, one of the Pro McLarens that is trying to duck his way on through. It wants to say, hey, do you mind if I peek around you here? Meanwhile, the battle for third and for the lead here in GTP. This is on board with Wastegate Racing's Kyle Burney. First, about third car of the road to the first GTP. That is second place runner Douglas Souza. And the next GTP from there is your overall race leader.
You can see them trying to make their way through a lot of these slower cars. If you're going to do it, the banking on the NASCAR oval is by far the best place to get around these cars, because if you end up stuck behind one of them going down into a chicane, the horseshoe, a really tight corner, passing them just gets infinitely more difficult. And I mean, you can see the speed advantage here as that 32 goes around the 5th place car in GT Pro.
And Wastegate Racing able to take good advantage of a pocket there to get through some of this GTP traffic. A bit further in the field, you've got the third place run for LMV2 that is up for grabs as well. You're on board with Kyle Allen. Right now he is in the middle of Gregory Meisner and Alfonso Race. So as these drivers continue to fight their way on through, you can tell that a lot of these fights are just seconds away from absolutely exploding out here on the racetrack. All they need is a little bit of Clayton racetrack to really fight it out.
Yeah, some of those cars like Delaringa just got trapped back in that lap traffic and are now going to have to get everything back going and regain all that time that they had prior to those lap cars trying to blow their way through that pack. As Zollering is going to lose even more time back there in that 33 car, not having a great go of it after that initial battle for the lead, and it was because he got lapped by another GTP. By an LMP, excuse me.
And Wastegate Racing's Luca Delaringa dropping to the tail end of this one. Meanwhile, Rusty Spatula's Racing's Hedda Hakkinen in a bit of a scrap here. This is just under 0.2 of a second between the two. This is Hedda Hakkinen and Jeremy Littleton. So Vulture Motorsports Pro fighting this one out with Rusty Spatula's Racing. This is the fight for 7th in class for GT Pro.
This one has been slowly getting closer, just like a couple of battles in GTP Pro. Seems like it's GT Pro, not GTP Pro. GTP Pro are the leaders. GT Pro has had a lot of really close battles so far right now. Those cars are all pretty similar on pace, and I think we've seen that so far over the course of this race. Also a couple good ones brewing in that LMP2 class. Gregory Meismer never quite clear of Kyle Allen. That car's got another right behind him as well. Battle's still going all over the field as we aren't too far from that last restart.
Rusty Spatula's looking strong in the 7th place run. And so far, still no dice from Vulture Motorsports Pro in trying to close the gap in. Can't say the same, though, for this fight here for 3rd in LMP2, which remains nose to tail. You got a 4th car, actually, in the mixer as well. Thiago Maduro Diaz, not the 4th car in line here, but a 4th car nonetheless in the fight. Getting set to try and make his appearance in the fight as well. So you're about to have 5 LMP2s, one of them being a lap car, all trapped in a line here. And look out for the 512 of VSCA WMS. Remember, they're 2 laps down from these guys here. They're currently all racing for 3rd, 4th, and 5th. So you got to be very careful that they don't get involved in the fight too much.
You can't have anything go too wrong here, especially this late into the race. You want to keep it clean, but a little bit of a dip into the grass there for that 87 car, trying to dig his way down on the inside. We'll see if it works on exit. Looks like he'll stay equal, but he might need a little bit of a better run there in that 87. He will ultimately lose out on that spot. He just doesn't have the run. That 11 car has done a great job of defending. Now he's got another GT3 up in front of him he's got to go around.
What is it with LMP2s and being among one of the most aggressive prototype fields that we have on the iRacing surface, right? Because, I mean, this is something that we have been seeing time after time again in every single race. It's always the LMP2s that get all the fireworks mid-race.
You never know. You see quite a few in that. GT Pro always seems to be pretty good. I don't know why I want to call them GTP Pro. They are GT Pro, but they've been pretty good this race.
I think Derek may have planted something in your head there because he was having a hard time with this as well. In his words, right, you put acronyms on the both, and they're both GTP. I think that might be where some of the confusion is coming in. But for GT Pro, that fight for the lead going nowhere. Meanwhile, Bruno Carrera is actually been forced into pit road here, and that means that this fight for 3rd is about to be won out by Rick Team Racing for the time being, who's going to have to fight it out with Marco Pereira, as Bruno Carrera not going to be in this fight for much longer.
Has the penalty there, and that is going to hurt him in that 4th position. He's going to have to make a pit stop, and he will surely shoot down the order when he does that. So that 88 car continues to hunt. When that car of Carrera pits, he will get around, but he wants to do it on track, and he's trying to make that happen.
Jose Barbosa in the number 88. The driver that continues to lead the way, or what he will be leading the way, at least in this fight. There goes some of the LMP2 traffic and some GTP traffic as well, trying to fight their way on through. Oh boy, a bit of a late block for Barbosa. Another late block up to the outside. Marco Pereira trying to fill the mirrors and let him know, hey, I'm still here. I'm going to keep you honest until you make a mistake. But Barbosa continues to maintain that 88 car going in the right direction, at least for now.
Blocked him high, blocked him low, did everything he could to take away that lane into the chicane and almost scare that car behind him out of making the move. These battles continue to rage for that World of Sim Racing team of Pereira. He's going to look to the outside here as they make their way across the start-finish line. 3 wide at the line there with a car lapping them. Will Pereira have what it takes? We've seen cars go wide here. It's always a threat at Daytona. He makes it through the corner, but he does not have the speed. Barbosa gets the spot back.
Jose Barbosa continues to retain. It's so hard to go around the outside of turn 1. I mean, you're realistically never going to be able to fully complete a pass if you're initiating around the outside. What you got to hope for is that you can at least maintain the inside so you can then complete the pass when you get into the International Horseshoe at the end of the straight.
Yeah, there's not a lot of passing zones really here at Daytona that we see. Obviously, the International Horseshoe is one. This right down here, this transition onto the oval is one. You can maybe get away with one in turn 1, and you can maybe get away with one in the chicane, but that's really all we see around here.
Pereira closing on board with the helmet. As he runs down Jose Barbosa, it does the look at the inside. No, you heard him lift. So Pereira knows the risks of going side by side into the Le Mans chicane. Doesn't want to take that chance with so long still left to go in this race. So Pereira going to get set to try and make a different run at it here. Will he try for the outside again? Down the front straightaway. You bet your bottom dollar he will. Up to the outside line of the Rick Team Racing number 88. And that's the look out the window. Pulls alongside, entering turn 1. Does he retain the spot is the question now. Yes, he does. Barbosa's going to lift and give up the fight.
That was purely a business decision for Pereira down the back straightaway. He realized there's still 10.5 hours left in this race. And that car right in front of him of Barbosa had shown to be willing to block down that back straightaway to try to hold the lead. Just figured he'd wait, get it done in turn 1, and that is exactly what happened.
Battle for third, still ebbing and flowing in LMP2 with Gregory Meitzmer. Continuing to make some whatever efforts he can, at least. Kyle Allen still retains in that 4th place position as well. And earlier on, we saw Douglas Souza attempt a run into turn 1 on Sergio Lazaire, but now Douglas Souza trying to get the run back to him. They got broken up by lap traffic there, risking getting broken up again, but for the time being, Douglas Souza getting a run going here as they make their way down into the kink.
Closest that this battle has been in quite a while. We saw it at 1 second, 1.5 seconds, but finally Souza has clawed his way back to the rear of that 7 car for the overall race lead. Even though Lazaire has that fastest lap of the race, Souza is the faster car right now, and that's a really awkward space for Lazaire to catch a lap car right in front of him. This could be the chance for the 12. He gets a draft on the straightaway here. Let's see what he can do.
Trying to make that run up top. The question is he going to be able to get the job done? You look on board to the tail end here of Sergio Lazaire. A look to the outside, but not a commitment into the bus stop. Souza knows the risks, not going to take a chance on that, but he runs a bit wide through the Le Mans chicane. Could that be it in the fight for at least the time being? Track limit Sim Racing Thunderbolt, by the way, down pit row. Both your 1-2 going to duck around lap traffic. And Souza not able to get close enough to challenge into 1.
Nobody's got that draft here, and there are a couple lap cars up the road from Lazaire as he approaches this corner that could slow him down a little bit. And he's going to meet the bumper of one of those lap cars. It's Rich Wright in the 94 SWF GT Am car in the way of Lazaire. He's going to have to knife his way around that car, and now he's got another chain of 4 all up in front of him. And Souza is going to get really aggressive to keep this car behind Lazaire as they both navigate this lap traffic.
Douglas Souza retains for the 2nd place spot. And Lazaire having to go around the long way of the lone Mustang in the field. And now that they're caught up in a bunch of this lap traffic, I don't think Souza's going to realistically be able to get a chance. I think he had an opportunity a little while ago, and he probably missed the opportunity to make a run. The only chance he would have really had is a really bold lunge around the outside. But at that point, Scott, you're not doing that in an effort to try and actually take the spot. You're doing it a bit to try and force your opponent to just back out of the fight altogether.
There's going to be some more lap cars up ahead. I mean, that's going to be the case for quite a while now for Lazzare, especially as the race leader. He's always having to navigate these cars. It's just that right now he's kind of found himself right in the middle of this GT Am field as we see a couple GT Pro cars make the turn down pit road. That right there is the 71 car of SimCity Racing making a pit stop.
And right coming around to the front straightaway, the battle for the lead. Souza still not close enough to get a run going on Lazzare. It's so hard to get a pass done in GTPs, especially though at a track like Daytona, right? Because you got to make sure that setup it's low enough that you can outrun your competition on the straights, but it's also got to be high downforce enough that you still have any kind of grip in a lot of the slower speed sections throughout the course of the infield, especially how bumpy the infield section of Daytona can be.
Here's Souza once again, now looking on that outside line. I wonder if he's going to try to maximize his run out of the corner. Doesn't look like it'll happen. He'll tuck his way in behind that leader who is getting really aggressive to try to clear some of these lap cars before that tight turn back onto the oval. Lazzare now has one car in between them, and that is going to really give the advantage to the 7. Gap back over half a second.
Kyle Burney, a third problem beginning to enter the fray here in this battle for the GTP lead. And we'll get back on this if it closes in much further. But right now, GT Pro has closed in again. Tyler Redden was looking to build a gap above Timothy Johnston, but well, the Aston Martins, they're about to get company again because guess what? Johnston's back on the push.
This GT class, both Pro and Am, have been going at it here since the green flag flew on this stint, and I don't think Johnson has ever been more than about 0.7 of a second away from Redden this entire run. Even though Redden got past him to take the lead, Johnston has not gone away, and he is biding his time, waiting for this car to make a mistake so he can try and pounce.
Yeah, Timothy Johnston keeps the battle going. Second place very much on the line here, as well as the lead of the race in GT Pro. Haven't talked about the GTMs too much in the last half hour or so, but they got a fight of their own that is continuing to show some developments here, as it is 4th through 7th fighting it out in GTM. Bloco Motore, Am, Intercom Fisher Motorsports, Go and Racing, and Team Frida Sports, all within about 2 seconds of each other.
Souza is now back up to Lazzare, right behind that car on the back straightaway. But Souza once again doesn't seem to push the issue, backs it out. He's being patient, he's biding his time. He hasn't really tried to push a move in yet. His next chance will be turn 1.
Down the main straight. And still, Douglas Souza unable to get the run that he really, really needs down the pit straight. I mean, the hybrid mode is that you can do a lot, but I feel like right now you're seeing VSR Competizione Bianco and BMW M Team Delta Racing running quite comparable setups here, clearly, because these are two teams that seem to be completely evenly matched no matter where they go on the racetrack.
These two cars have been around each other basically all night long here, especially over the last hour or so. This is all right. Ooh, bit of a move there for D'Souza, and they're going to have the Perriera car in the 151 who starts to slide off the road in front of him. That was nearly a moment. Kyle Burney now joining this battle back here in the 32. We'll see if he can make any hay.
Kyle Burney, Wastegate Racing, third car in the line. Seeking to make a run of the top 2 here. Wastegate Racing, of course, started this race from pole position after winning the Roar in convincing fashion. They were able to punch out some multi-second gaps early on, but ever since they dropped back, it's been such a struggle for them to get back to the front. But now that Kyle Byrne, the driver that started that car, is back into it, we could very well be seeing a major resurgence incoming for the number 32.
Certainly has a lot of speed right now and has only really gotten faster as this run has gone on. As we sit about 30 minutes from when we went back green on that last caution, Kyle Byrne finally has that 32 car dialed in where he wants it, although this is not going to be a fun corner because he's got a GT car under him.
GT car underneath him is going to disrupt his run. He has to lift out. Timothy Johnston coming down to pit road this time by. He will give up the fight for the GT Pro class lead in favor of pit strategy for the time being. He is remaining in the car as well in this latest set of stops. Bruno Carrera, not Bruno Carrera, Adam Joseph Milhigh, you see him also in just up the road as well. And trouble for SRN Motorsports Orange, who appears to have gone around. That is Jason Hildreth. That's had a pretty significant moment.
We will get a replay on that here, and we'll see what happened to that 74 car in the GTM class. Back chicane, always a problem spot.
Oh, man! Smokes the outside wall there. Lucky enough to get that car rolling. Take another look here. This is on board. Watch here. Too much of the anti-cut curves. Boom. Brutal lick into the wall, but here's the incredible thing about this here. Look at that car. It's unscathed. How in the world does that work? That's a hit that has taken LMP2 cars out of the running earlier in this race, and yet the screen doesn't lie. That's a clean race car.
I didn't know we were allowed to build cars out of titanium. That's a new one to me.
I think they're going to have to run that car through post-race tech inspection for illegal substances.
You think that would be like a weight problem if you built it out of titanium?
No kidding, right? I mean, they are giving weight penalties. Maybe the weight was titanium, and they just mounted it all on the grill.
Who knows?
Somebody somewhere is smiling down on SR Motorsports. SR Motorsports Orange's Jason Hildreth here this afternoon. Yet another GTM battle picking up here. This one for a 10th between Superstar Racing Team and BMW M Team TSR GTM. And in fact, as that battle picks up, it's going to go away as Nate Bogues comes to pit road along with Gonzalo Light. Fresh driver to the car for Pulsar Esports Team.
Driver changes starting to be made now as we head up onto just shy of midnight Eastern Standard Time for all the Americans in this race. This is when you put your European drivers in the car and just make them wake up a little earlier. The proportion of American drivers, I feel like, over the course of the 24-hour race slowly shifts away. You start out, a lot of American drivers in the field in the morning, and then as we head into these night hours, you go down the standings in Switzerland, Australia, Spain, Portugal, Brazil, the UK, Portugal, Antarctica. I don't think that one's real, unfortunately. Germany, Spain, Portugal. You really start to get a lot of those other drivers in the field, guys who haven't ran too many of the early stretches of this race.
Seth Neufeld jumping into the car for the number 25 entry here. That's a driver that has had his fair share of issues so far today, but hoping for more this afternoon. You also got Connor Botting, Ryan Steinhoff, and Tane Hudson. Team Freedom Sport, Intercom Fish Motorsports, and Goen Racing running for 5th, 6th, and 7th. All of this in GTM. And how about this? Tane Hudson to the inside of Ryan Steinhoff at turn 1, and he's got him.
That is for P6 in the GTM class right now. That car passing Intercom Fisher in the 90, which feels like it's kind of slowly gone backwards over the course of this last run. Since we went back green, the 90 car has dropped from what was a very promising position and is now struggling through some of this lap traffic.
Meanwhile, oh, we got problems here. VSR Competizione Nero with Francesc Andres Diaz having significant problems. This is on the approach, I believe, to the Le Mans chicane. So this is going to be coming out of turn 6 here.
Get one more replay on what happened right there. Not a spot we've seen a lot of cars go around in this run, but a spot that is always very treacherous. And yeah, a little too much on the power there. That 53 car got to hold the brakes, managed to get it off the track there, but if I was one of those cars coming by, I would have crapped myself.
Oh, such a difficult corner, right? There's so much load being put on those right sides. On an off-camber corner where you're hard on the throttle, the wheels turn hard to the left, and on a corner where it's so critical to get a good run out, right? Because it leads to the the longest straight of the whole racetrack. Tough break for that to happen at that point.
See some cars trying to rejoin here out of pit road right into the middle of the pack. That's always a bit sketchy when they head back down into that horseshoe with cars fresh out of the pits. Looks like everybody makes it clean out that cycle as GT Pro continues to have stops happen, continues to send some cars into the pits. GTM starting to get into the process of that as well. Lazare has brought it down into the pits in that 7 car for the Blouth. Has not pit, and as such, he is your leader in GTP.
Yes, sir. Philippe Blouth continues to lead the way for the time being. Of course, this is a car that we are expecting due into pit road at any time. Well, there's still plenty of action to be had elsewhere here on the racetrack. Pro Racing Team Blue, Intercom Fisher Motorsports, and of course BMW M Team TSR GTM looking to fight this one out here as a fight for 5th. Still tightly congested here in GTM, but a tighter battle is for 3rd in GT Pro.
This Curtis Treiber in the 57 car currently holding that spot for double stint racing as he gets lapped by that Miguel Ruiz car for Red Lab Competition. He's got Unitronic Fisher Motorsports J. Van Meppelen in the 84 racing right behind him in this battle. As they come across the line, Van Meppelen's going to try a bit of a dive up the inside there in the 84 car. Right down on that white line, he'll get clear, and he will steal 3rd in GT Pro away from Treiber.
Yes, sir. A good lunge down the inside for Curtis Treiber. Travis Linscomb-Hatfield having to fight back here as well. As Treiber dropping even further down the field. Now Linscomb-Hatfield battles his way through into 4th, and just like that, Double Stint Racing dropping a couple of spots here early on. You've also got Matthew Luke and Alfonso Reyes for 3rd, scrapping it out as well.
And this battle is the way it is because you've got some of those cars in that class who have come down pit road over the last few laps. Blanco Mattore has made that move down pit road. Tyler Redden still behind the wheel, and Blanco Mattore almost had a moment right there. Lucas Lager for the No Limit Sim Racing Academy car spun right in front of that 183 car.
Boy, again, a little bit dicey here, isn't it? As this race, just when you think it's over, there's always going to be something here. Taking a run here. This is the No Limit Sim Racing Academy headed up by Lucas Lager, fresh out of pit road, locks up the rears on cold tires, and hello to the Aston Martin.
So that is a car that has been dominant in the GT3 Pro class when not in the middle of a pit cycle, and that would have been horrific for that car. That was a very scary moment for everyone involved. You see it on board there.
Matthew Luke and Alfonso Reyes getting set to go side by side here in the battle for 3rd in LMP2. So yet more action set to kick off.
That 151 World of Sim Racing car that was up front in GT Pro has come down, and Saul Sanchez Flores will get behind the wheel of that one.
And here we go. Alfonso Reyes putting Matthew Luke under fire, and just like that, Luke through into the third place spot. Alfonso Reyes trying to get the cutback around the outside into the International Horseshoe. Trying to pinch him in, but not able to get the job done.
TLMP2 class continues to race. These cars have made their pit stops here pretty recently, so you won't have any real pit stop strategy being played over the next few laps. This is going to happen all on the racetrack. As Fury Simsport continues to hold that position over the RTR car that's been sitting about 4th or 5th since we went back green and has been fighting for it. He's been aggressive, and I know if he can get up to the bumper of that 30 car, he will fight for that position.
No doubt about it, but he's got to get there first. Third place is also on for the GT Pro category, as Telemetry Racing's Travis Linscomb Hatsfield losing or gaining a bit of time there, courtesy of some GT Pro traffic fighting his way on through. And now, could we see another offensive move here for LMP2 imminent into turn 1?
Now we could. The 87 car is going to want it, but he's going to be hampered because you're not going to see any lap traffic up in front of that 30 car. That would be his best chance in that 87, but I mean, there's a lot of clean air, a lot of clean racetrack up ahead, and that's going to give him a very, very easy entry down into this corner.
Problems for Intercom Fisher Motorsports here, as they have got themselves a black flag as well as going off the circuit. So it looks like it's a spin that will see them pick up another drive-through penalty here this race from the GTM field. With help? No. Self-inflicted, goes around. Oh, and he is going to get into that wall on the left-hand side. Seen a few drivers clobber that so far today.
That is a weird spot to crash right there. You don't see that too often.
You don't see it often, but sometimes they manage to find a way. Well, Sky, my time here in the commentary box is coming to a close. You've got Teddy Lowendick, and he's set to join you up here now. So I'm going to take off my commentator's headset, put on the production headset, and I'll let you guys take us through the next few hours.
Yeah, welcome to the booth, Ted. We are not free of Nolan just yet. He will be here producing for us for the next 3 hours, but it will be me and Ted in the booth for you for the next 2.
Well, hello, everybody, and let's watch some racing and see how the next couple of hours gets going. I'm excited to be here and been checking in throughout the day. It seems like it's been a pretty entertaining afternoon, evening, I guess.
Yeah, we've been green for the last, I would say, 45 minutes or so now, as pit stops have been underway for the GT Pro and the GT-AM class for quite a bit of time. You've got a couple cars who still have not made that turn down pit road, and as such are out in front. That's the Grow Racing Team white car, that 24 that's out front, J. Van Meppelen. Also a car who I do not believe has come down pit road. Once you get a little bit further back, you get into that 6th to 7th place area back there is where you see the cars who have come down pit road. Locomotori going to be one of the cars to watch out for once this gets going back, or once this pit cycle gets all sorted out.
Yeah, this is the interesting time of the race. Going back from experience, usually about these hours is when you've been up for a while. Well, this is really tight here. Been up for a while. Might be doing like your second or third stint at this point. A lot of us say, oh, we're gonna go take a nap, or we're gonna go, not think about it, but we never really can.
No.
It's like, I should go take a sleep, and 3 hours is gone, and now it's time to get back in the car. So, yeah, it should get pretty interesting here with maybe some sleep deprivation, the new bus stop, and all that stuff come into play together. So.
Yeah, last time I did a 24-hour, I stayed up for about 22 hours. I went to bed after my stint and said I'll wake up for the final one. And my teammate got a voice call that probably sounded like it was coming from a dead man. So it really starts to get tiring as you get later and later on into this race. The battle for the lead has been kind of starting to go for a little bit here. You've got that 12 car. It's Joao Vitor Delgado behind the wheel of that one now, subbing in for the driver who was in that car previously. Both have been trying to pursue that 7, Sergio Lazare, who has been dominant up there in front of the field. Got a spinner out on the racetrack, and we will take a look back at who that was. It's 13 car of Andres Diaz was running 5th in the GT Pro class. He's coming down in that second horseshoe, and he is just a little too quick into the corner, loops it around right there.
Looks like he didn't. I don't think he hit anything though, so he just lost a little bit of time there. It's all right. Nice little battle here. Is this the battle for 4th? Yep, 3rd. Battle for 3rd.
That 87 car finally getting clear of the Fury Simsport number 30. And Alfonso Reyes behind the wheel for the 87 right now, and he has been going at it for quite a bit. This is a very aggressive driver. The Fury Simsport car not going to let him go, and that 30 of Matthew Luke is going to go right back to the outside here. New driver in the car, Luke replacing Dylan Babcock, but the racing between these two just as good as ever. As Reyes is in the car fresh as well after that last pit stop. He'll hold the spot right now, but the draft is going to come right back behind him. Luke now up to the outside. He'll likely hold the outside here down into turn 1. No lap traffic up in front of these two cars. Luke with the run, not clear as we hit the start-finish line, but he is almost there. Not quite able to get ahead, and Reyes will have that inside line down into turn 1. Side by side, still near contact off the corner. Matthew Luke does not want to let him go. He's back on the inside into the horseshoe.
Oh, if I'm their team principals, I'm like, guys, we have 10 hours left in the race. Let's just let it go. We can get it back later.
Reyes now has the inside on the crossover, and he gets the spot, holds third, and Luke immediately sends it back to the outside, whips the corner, and he's into the outside wall, and that is going to be some damage for the 30 of Matthew Luke. Was a very promising battle there. It's going to end in some scratched paint and likely a pretty solid dent on a car that's been very competitive here in LMP2.
Looks like he's got a little bit of left front damage there. We'll get a replay of it here. Yeah. Just
They just kind of sent it in a little bit too much there. He was really trying to push for that move on the outside line. Just went a little too deep into the corner, couldn't get it turned, locked up the brakes, and it all went wrong very, very quickly for the driver of that 30 car. So still got some GT Pro cars that we see out on the racetrack. Nuno Vinagre, Travis Linscomb, Hatfield still up in front of that class. Drivers running a bit of a different pit strategy here and still out on the track as you've got a couple of drivers who are going to maybe get back up there when that all cycles around. Blanco Matore, Tyler Redden currently sits 4th. That was the dominant GT Pro car when we got going back green. He will try to close this up as Nuno Vinagre has brought the car into the pits, and I believe Linscomb Hatfield has also brought the car into the pits, and Curtis Schreiber has also brought the car into the pits. So that is 3 pit stops in GT Pro there for all of your top 3 cars, and this is looking like it's going to cycle around to the 183 Blanco Matore car of Tyler Redden, who will go back to the front of GT Pro. He will be followed not too far behind by Sim City Racing. Carson Allen has gotten behind the wheel of that 71 car right now, replacing his teammate who was so good in that car earlier on his last stint. We will see if he's able to keep that gap close.
So I just hopped in here. I think you guys mentioned something about LMP2 pit stops may have just finished before I jumped in. Okay, so I was sitting here thinking from that 30 car that just had that little bit of a kerfuffle into the Matthew Luke. I was wondering if they were close to a pit stop, maybe they might bring him in early to get that damage repaired so they wouldn't lose time on track. But
Well, they did
My
bring him
question was
down.
answered.
Well, actually,
Oh, they did. Okay.
well, no, they didn't. He just drove through pit road his last time down. So I'm not sure if he had a penalty. I'm not sure if he missed his box. Either way, Matthew Luke had a drive-through that last time around, and that will set him back quite a bit.
Yeah, I think I saw he was in 6th last time it updated. So it went from battling for 4th, or battling for 3rd, down to 6th. Yeah, but plenty of time to get it back, though.
He will have some time to get it back, and he will try to get that back here over the course of the next 10 hours, 0 minutes, and 22 seconds that we have still left of racing in this 24 hours of Daytona. It's been a very good one so far. We've been treated to some great racing here pretty much all throughout this one. And speaking of great, how about Maconi Setup Shop, who are our sponsor as we hit the 10-hour mark. When you want to be the best, you can't settle for the rest. For anything on iRacing, there's just one name you need: Maconi. With Maconi Setup Shop, they now provide the best of the best in setups, paint schemes, coaching, and event organization. With cars across all 4 license classes, they have what you need to hit the track with confidence. Grab a subscription starting at only $8 a month and save money while going fast at MaconiSetupShop.com/subscriptions. And remember, at Maconi Setup Shop, they're their setups, but your victories. As I said earlier, Maconi, great dude. Give him your money.
I believe I used one of their setups last year for the Firecracker 400. Can confirm it was a very good setup compared to what I had previous to that. So definitely was more competitive with them on board. So yes, definitely check them out if you have the opportunity.
Looking at a replay, here's the 515 Wolf Motorsport Christopher Limprecht in that GT Am class, and he is going to turn the 84 car of Aaron Beaver in that Unitronic Fisher Motorsports car in GT Pro. Just a little contact there between those two cars. I don't think that's been the first issue for that Wolf Motorsports car over the last few laps. He had a bit of spin, I believe, earlier, if I'm not misremembering.
Might be a little bit of a toss back to the old Angry Beaver show. I don't know if anybody will get that reference, but I might have just dated myself a little bit, so.
I'm gonna Google that show right now, and I got 20 bucks. It's older than me.
It was Nickelodeon, late 90s, early 2000s.
I fear 8 years older than me. Sorry. Gregory Meismer still sitting second in that LMP2 class. He's been holding that spot there for a little bit behind the wheel. That 420 car has been behind the wheel for the last hour or so in pursuit of Ryan Surulik, currently in the 23 up front. That is the 23 twin-turn SRV by Rebecca Bornheim. Track Limit Sim Racing Thunderbolt is the 420 car. As they sit 1 and 2 in class, VSR Competition Blanco in the 7 has been the dominant force in GTP since we got back going. And for much of this race, really, Sergio Lazare has been a master behind the wheel. That one, 5 seconds in the lead now over Vitor Delgado. Gaps finally starting to kind of grow over the course of the field here from some of the ridiculously tight racing we had earlier, but there is a bit of a battle going on in the GT Am class. You've got Ryan Huff right there in the 75, 7/10 of a second ahead of Tamer Albaga right behind him. Both of these cars have been in the pits within the last 3 or 4 laps or so out in front of this field, and this is kind of the continuation of a battle that's been going in the GT Am class for a little bit of time now. It's the SRN TFR Alliance car up front. Daniel Gralti was in that car before Ryan Huff got in, and Gralti was very quick behind the wheel. Had that car up in the lead of that class too. Albaga getting behind the wheel of the Wastegate 33 car. That car's been in second for a while. It was Luca Della Ringa behind the wheel of that one previously. And now it's an 18-second gap between that battle and Stevie Amonatitis back there in the 283 car, currently sitting third in this class for Blocco Motore AM. Not quite as quick as the main Blocco Motore car that's out in front of GT Pro, but he's still having a pretty good run of it back there in AM.
Looking down through the leaderboard, looks like the closest battle we have on track is between GTM 1 and 2 right now. A little under a second there. And the battle for P4 as well.
The battle for P4 there is starting to close in. You've got Team Frida Sport in the 912. Currently behind the wheel of that car, if I can pull the number up correctly, is Tane Hodgson. And then you've got right in front of him that 19 car Gowan Racing car plotting behind the wheel as we've got some lap cars getting really aggressive. That's Danny Fonte in the 51 that you just saw pull that move around the outside. He's one lap down right behind your current race leader, Sergi Lazare, in that orange car. Yes, we do have a spinner in the back. That's Rich Wright, 94. Was one lap down running in the GT AM class from those cars we were talking about. He'll get that thing back going, and he will get away pretty quickly there from the rest of the field. As that battle, that was for fourth in class, is, almost a moment there. I got very distracted by the Red Lab Competizione car having a bit of a moment, but it saved it all nice and good. Battle for first in GTP AM, as you've got that 33 wastegate car around the outside of the SRN TFR Alliance. Can he make the move stick? No, the outside of turn 1 is not anywhere that anyone has been able to pass today, and Elbaga is no exception. He gets forced back behind Ryan Huff. He'll get a little bit aggressive here down into turn 3, almost to the bumper, but not able to do it. Huff holding strong out front.
Faster class up the inside. It's going to play a little bit of a mess. As a GT3 driver, you're screaming, please don't try. I'm focusing on the guy in front of me, and then, and then look at the gap it's made between them. Oop, I got confused with the car ahead of him. My bad. It's still pretty close.
Yeah, it's really a balancing act, especially when you're in one of these slower classes, because you know you have to fight for the lead of your class, but you can't really get too much in the way of the GTP cars, or else they're going to get mad at you, and you might get a little bit of headlight flashing in your rearview mirror. And unlike the freeway, you can't immediately brake check someone when you get flashed here, so you've got to be a little more patient with it. As Elbaga in the 33 might actually have the run here. He's certainly got a slipstream up behind Ryan Huff. He'll take a peek out to the outside here. These two cars have a lap car up in front of him. It's Vilela, who is actually a GTP car, I believe, as these two continue to do battle right here. Huff has the spot. Elbaga tried the high side, but wasn't actually able to get anything going with it. He's going to be forced around the outside here back into turn 1. It did not work out for him last time. I don't think it's really going to work out for him this time either, and he will back out. 75 of Ryan Huff continues to hold the lead.
Looks like we're going to go. I keep thinking back to the, I think it was a LMP2 that passed them on the outside through the kink the last lap. It's so unnerving when you're the slower car, because you're praying they don't mess it up, especially on exit, because you have to drift out. You don't want to put too much wheel into it. You might spin. I've been there numerous times. It's I don't like it, but they made it through. And here comes another. Oh, he's flashing. Is he going to send it? No.
Well, now these two are going to have to deal with all of those lap cars behind him. Sergi Lazare, race leader, is the one flying around him. He's still got that one lap down car of Danny Fonte right behind him in that World of Sim Racing 51. I think that thing has been a lap down all run long, and I'll tell you what, that 51 is absolutely begging for a caution so he can get that lap back. but we have gone a nice hour green here. At 75, misses the corner. Ryan Huff is going to go wide. This might give up the lead. Yes, it will. Tamer Albaga in the 33 clear for the lead of GT Am after the 75. Ryan Huff just straight up missed the corner.
You know, my friends have been telling me that this new chicane is not... it's not easy. Yeah. You know what? That's actually a very smart decision. Knew he messed it up. Didn't try to, you know, get back into it too early. Just took the easy way out. Car's still in one piece, able to keep moving forward.
Well, now Albaga's kind of stuffed up behind multiple cars in class. You've got a couple of GT Pro cars up here as well, one of which seems to be pretty heavily damaged. Both of those drivers will make it around pretty well, but then you've got the RTR Marco Villela car up here as more pit stops underway for the LMP2 class. Randy Marino is going to get behind the wheel of the 420 car. He will be coming in relief of his teammate. It's not loading, Gregory Meismer.
And there's the driver swap.
And Ricardo now behind the wheel of the 99 Monarch Racing Team entry, as pit stops are in earnest now in LMP2. We'll see if we see more of these cars come down here over the next few laps. Many are still staying out. Many have begun to come down. It looks like about half of the field is still out on the racetrack. This is for 11th place in the GTAM class. You got the 90 of Intercom Fisher Motorsports, has had some problems over the course of this run. Right behind him is that 94 car SWF Motorsports, also had some problems over the course of this run. That is Rich Wright in the 94. Right now, Jordan Strant sits in the 90 car at the moment, as these two continue to close in on each other. Rich Wright needs some good laps here to get back closer, and with a very bad corner exit by the 90 car of Jordan Strant, Wright is going to be able to get a little bit closer.
You could say he's trying to right the ship, but...
You could.
Yep, you're with me for the next 2 hours. It's going to be full of puns.
I'm trapped
Just
in here.
strap in,
I can't get out. They've got me locked in the cage to commentate this race.
Nolan switches us over to almost death there. I don't know who that faster paced car was, but that was terrifying.
That was certainly a close moment there between a couple cars. It's always really tight to lap here, especially when you're in those horseshoe areas, because the track is not very wide. I said it about an hour ago, but if there is a spot where you want to make a move, you want to have it done on this straightaway where you've got so much nice, easy space to lap cars. You can go all 3 lanes. It's beautiful. If you try to do it in the horseshoe, there is a lot bigger chance of disaster.
100% agree with you. And looks like we had a nice, easy entrance there. Nobody tried to send it late. Yeah, you can have your race ended very well. These guys are close again. Rich is he's made some time up here in the infield.
Slowly closing in on that 90 car. I think I said it earlier, but that 90 car we saw running up in the top 5 in GTAM not too long ago, and since then it has just been pure free fall for the Intercom Fisher car. Now back to 11th, now under threat from Rich Wright in the 94. This would send him back to P12 if that 94 is ultimately able to make the move here. It has been a not great run for that 90. Rich Wright's been in the car for about an hour now too, but he's got some speed right now. Like I said, righting the ship from that spin he had not too long ago.
I was gonna say, I'm hoping this is the second time we've seen someone pull out a little early. Simple physics, he's taking the outside line, even with a little bit of slipstream that he had. He's not able to pull ahead because that longer distance taken, but he's going to deep on the brakes into turn 1 here.
Has to back out pretty heavily.
Yeah, clears it. All right, it's set up for round 3 here.
They're going to keep going at it for quite a bit now. I do want to give a quick update on the lead of this class. We saw Ryan Huff below that chicane. He's not been able to get back to Tamer Albaga. That 33 car has pulled out a 1.5 second gap, pulling away from Ryan Huff as we continue to watch the battle back here for P11. There's a couple cars closing in across this field, but this is still the closest battle on the racetrack right now for P11 in GTM. Like I said, that 94 trying to get back from that spin he had about 5 or 6 laps to go. One could say even 6 or 7 laps to go, depending on what your memory is. Right in this spot of the racetrack.
You just had to say
you didn't catch it the first time, so I had to do it again.
I was trying to ignore it.
It's gonna be It's gonna be the 2027 Daytona 24, and I will still say 6-7. And you're all gonna hate me. You'll grow.
Wasn't it like the 2025 word of the Webster's word of the year or something like? I don't know.
It was up there.
Yeah.
I know.
The kids love it. I can tell you that.
Yeah, I was gonna say we did a field trip game here for my university's women's basketball team, and our coach told our players we were at 66 points, and our coach told our players to draw a foul on purpose so that they could shoot a free throw and hit 6-7.
Oh man.
Only
That's
in
cringy.
Here you go, second place in GTP class, starting to go at it. This is Joao Victor Delgado. Not doing quite as well as his teammate was in that car, and he has lost quite a bit of ground to Sergey Lazare, who has been absolutely perfect in the 7. He's fallen back into the trap of the 32 of Kyle Burney, who's been behind the wheel of that car since we went back green. It's the Wastegate Racing number 32. Wastegate currently out in the lead, or currently out in third of GTP. They are out in the lead of GTM, so a good race for those 2 Wastegate cars in the field. We'll try to make it second in GTP if Barney is able to get around Delgado here over the next few laps.
A little bit of a premature flash. I don't know if you needed to be doing it that far back, but
It just distracts him. Keep doing it.
Jeez. Hey, cleared him easy. I mean, it wasn't necessary, but okay.
Personally, yeah, if I was in one of these battles and I was the car behind, I'm putting my flash onto like a button, and I'm just hitting the button the entire race to try and distract the driver in front of me.
Last year's 24, it was like 2 a.m. real world time, not sim time, and it was dark enough in the sim that we were driving around the corners, just hitting the button to keep ourselves awake. Having some good fun with the people around us, but no harm, no done there. These guys are pretty close still. Let's see if we can get a good run out of the chicane.
They are. Going to take a peek to the outside here for some of these lap cars who are continuing to try and fly away from the cars behind them. It's that 12 still in the pack. There's no real lap cars up in front of him now, so Kyle Burney, as he goes 2:03 across the start-finish line in terms of miles per hour, isn't really going to have anything to slow down Delgado in front of him. He's going to need them to catch a lap car. Owen Chen, pretty quickly, I was going to say slowly, but he's very quickly being caught, and he will be past there in the Flight Level Racing 747.
Guys giving each other plenty of space. Love to see the respect out there.
Delgado's a little bit wide here. This might be the chance for Kyle Burney. Ran a much better corner than the 12 car in front of him. And Burney is now going to get a run as we head down into turn 7, back up on to the oval. 2 cars lapped side by side in front of him, so that's going to be pretty interesting here as we see more. This is LMP2 cars trying to work their way through lap traffic back here. You're watching that 10 car at the moment make some moves. Actually, it's the V1M 10 car that is up in the GTP class. He has just gotten past, actually, well, he's gotten passed by the Lion GP Bravo Snow car, but the Lion GP Bravo Snow car is also not on the same lap as him, so it doesn't really count as a pass. There you go. we have had a couple big incidents now that we are going to get a replay of, and we'll see. First one, performed as Red Lab Competizione. Was already about 25 laps down in the GTP class, so I'm not sure how it could get worse. We'll find out right now.
Oh, no.
Okay. I think he's just going to pull off the track here and tow it back to the pits, so that might... Well, it'll be the end of Miguel Ruiz's time in the car, for sure. Here's Jordan Strand side by side with Rich Wright in that battle we were watching. What's going to happen to him here? This is not going to end well. Strand is going to hit the curb and lose it. Rich Wright missed the corner too, but Rich Wright got away a lot better than Strand did, and he should be fine.
That's the front. Oh, the front of that car does not look good. Tire barrier does not move like it would in the real world.
Red Lab Competizione has two other drivers in the session with Perez Santiago and Eduardo Silva, but neither of them have actually stepped in to go behind the wheel yet, as I assume that car is still in the process of being towed back to the pits. And Intercom Fisher is going to make a driver change. Rob Kiser is going to get behind the wheel.
This battle is 5th through 9th GT Pro. Yes, you heard that correctly. We've got 5 cars under a blanket.
Yes, we do. It's going to be the 24 Nuno Vinagre Grow Racing Team white car. Led a couple laps about 30 minutes ago. We're halfway to the pit cycle. Right out in front of Travis Linscomb Hatfield for the 2Lemaitre car. As he is right up on the bumper of that 24. That car was also up front before that pit stop. Marco Villela in the RTR 88. RTR been aggressive across their cars here today. Marco Villela will try to get it. Ryan Huff is now back here as well. That is a car in GT Am. He is here for vibes and not actually in this battle. Sam Spinell in the 57 is that purple car back there. Purple and white car. And then you've got Goncalo Liete, the Epic Vans Pulsar Esports team car, bringing up the row. The 6-car tandem as Travis Linscomb Hatfield pulled out to the inside of Vinagre there, thought better of it, and dropped right back in line.
Let's see if he makes a move down the straight here. A bit of a draft train. One car's bottoming out pretty good in the corner. Sparks flying off the rear as it was going through there. Just gonna look to the outside here. Windshield wiper on. Interesting.
Aerodynamics, surely. We're gonna bring that thing down right in behind, and he will slot into the gap. So even though he tried something there on the outside, doesn't actually end up losing any time as a result of it. He'll stay in the battle as we're going side by side behind him. This is Spinell and Liete. Almost missed the corners. Liete, meanwhile, Linscomb Hatfield has taken the spot away from Nuno Vinagre. He's got that car up to 5th in class. 68 car was behind that 24 for a while, so it's going to feel nice for him to finally get the move. Vinagre wants it back. Can't do anything. I would like to note, when I got into the booth, I told Nolan we were going to have 3 hours and 43 minutes exactly of green flag racing, and he called me crazy, and we are currently about 1 hour 17 minutes into that green flag racing. So I'm enjoying it. How about you, Ted?
I am. You said how long? 3 hours and
3 hours 43 minutes, because that goes until the exact time I leave the booth.
Well, you've got 2 hours and 30 minutes left in your estimate, so
yeah, we've got some time left in that for it to go wrong, but we will hope that it will stay green. This battle continues to go back here as the top 2 cars have separated themselves. Linscomb Hatfield and Vinagre have kind of gotten away from the melee behind them as you've got Villela, Ryan Huff. That's not even a battle for position because Huff is in a different class. You've got Spinell, you've got Goncalo Liete trying to get it up to the middle here. We'll see what he can do. Are we going to go 3 wide? Where it might go. Huff is going to back out. Huff doesn't want any part of this. Spinell is going to be the one up the inside on Goncalo. And the Epic Vans car is Spinell's now got the outside down into the horseshoe, but he does have almost a car advantage there on Liete, who will fight him right back in the 73. Is he gonna get clear? No, he's gonna have the intent once again. We door slam out of 3. This is some racing right here.
Oh no, don't go through here too wide.
They're gonna, oh!
All right, that's 2 hits. I don't know if you get 3.
Now we've got the, is this the Alfonso Rios in the RTR car, that 87 that we've seen have some fun tonight. He's going to try to throw his way through as Spinell is going to try to challenge Villela up here. This is going to be for 7th in this GT Pro class.
Oh, man.
Yeah, that's pretty much my reaction. I'm about to some water.
The bump through the kink, I had envisions of someone having to go through the grass and meeting up on the other side, which is terrifying. Thankfully, it didn't resort in that, and let's see if the 73 can catch back up here.
Man, I'll tell you what, I've been here for an hour 33. My throat is already scratchy. We have 2:27 to go. Chat. Vote now on your phones. Is this a good sign? My money's on no, but leave that up to you. Sam Spinell in the 57, still behind Marco Villela in that 88 car. He's trying to find something. He looked high, he looked low. He's still looking low. They'll go side by side into the corner. Here's Sam Spinell with a send, and he's going to get tapped in the bumper by Villela, but he holds on to it. 57 car, clear, P7.
73.
Eliete is right back into this fight as well, right behind him. Almost another shunt there from Villela to the back of Spinell. They've got a very damaged lap car up in front of him. That's Lawrence Dobro in the SRN Motorsports car. That car is lapped. It's a GTM. No fight. No, not really playing into this fight at all. Aside from the fact that he is massively slowing up Spinell, and you get almost a domino effect there of 3 cars making bumper-to-bumper contact. You gotta let Spinell by, man. This is crazy.
73 is going to get a run here. Yeah. Ooh. It would be smart to not pass before the bus stop here. If you don't need to.
He's going to try to get it in the bus stop. Liete has that inside line. And I think that is just going to back out there. Villela doesn't want it, and he will back out. Liete will move up to 8th in class behind Sam Spinell, who is still stuck behind Lawrence Dobro in the 74 car, who is an additional, hold on, let me count, 2 laps down from these cars that we're watching race right now.
So jump back to where I was going with that bus stop pass. If you pass somebody into the bus stop, they're just going to have the ability to get you right back into turn 1. So sometimes it might be better to just wait until you get out of the bus stop to make that pass, and then you can drive away in the infield. But
how about that move? Liete finally made it around Lawrence Chabot there. Ryan Huff still up in this battle. Ryan Huff has actually gotten around Villela. It doesn't matter for position because he is the GTM car, but he has dropped 4 seconds to El Baga, and he needs to start somewhere if he has to get back on it.
So there were only a few tenths separated before he had that little issue in the bus stop, and he's lost about 4 seconds to it.
As I think we are seeing potentially some pit stops up here at the front of GTP Delgado into the pits, I believe. Same with Martin Marconi up there, not to be confused with Maconi Setup Shop, our title sponsor of this race. Yep, the 12 is coming out of the pit road. 7 is also coming out of the pit road. Kyle Burney is already in the pits. It looks like the one car in this class that is yet to make the move down into that pit lane. Actually, we have a couple of them. I'm not sure if Danny Fonte in the World of Sim Racing car in that 5 or in the 5th position has pit yet. Also don't think Pack Sim Sport has, although they are 3 laps down. Your leader, Philip Blouth, for Albrecht Motorsports, is the one of these drivers who has stayed out, who is actually in position up here, temporarily in the lead until he does have to pit. And Martin Marconi, freshly into the 7, replacing the driver who had done so well behind the wheel of that one. Sergi Lazare. I'll tell you what, it's 3 Spaniards behind the wheel of that car, and I feel like we're not far from getting into prime hours for them, because for the last 6 hours, they have been driving the graveyard shift. I believe it's going to be 6 a.m. over there pretty soon, sun will start coming up, and hopefully they'll get their energy back here for his second win, although they might not even need it, because they have had a stranglehold on the GTP class for the last few hours.
According to Google, it is 6:37 in the morning over there.
1 hour behind. Dang, I was close. The time zones are hard. Yeah, end of sentence. Time zones are hard.
Well, I mean, and then the fact that we do daylight savings time over here, so it makes it even more confusing.
What's up? I sometimes do. I have to rely on UTC for certain things, and let me tell you, I always forget when it goes back and we're suddenly on -6 instead of -7.
Where it gets me is the iRacing official series schedules, because on the oval side of things, oh boy, this is getting spicy. We'll get back to that explanation. Oh, this is gonna be tight. This is gonna be okay. All right, they made it. Cooler heads prevail.
A really good move for that 57 car. That is Sam Spinell behind the wheel of that one, as he has been for a little bit now. Ahead of Nuno Vinagre in that 24, who's trying to make the move. Spinell just got around Vinagre very recently. I believe it was on that move. Khalidze. Oh, big problems. I just saw something right there. Big problems for the car that was the leader in LMP2. Rico Kallmeyer in the V1M11 was out front on pit cycle, I believe. Just came down, took a black flag penalty, and that car is going to have to come down again here. So huge problems for Rico Kallmeyer. And there's going to be another car coming in. Jesse DeShazier with the flight level 757 also making his way down. I believe that one is scheduled. Pit stops coming in GT cars as well. You can see it starting to affect GT Pro classes. Saul Sanchez Flores in the 151 has gone to the lead with that Blanco Motore car down into the pit lane.
This merge off of pit lane into traffic's always an interesting one, especially if you're on cold tires. Back to this battle here.
By the way, driver change for that GT Pro leading car, Blanco Motore. It is Eric Van Spischker in the car for the next stint.
Did we lose a car from this battle? I feel like we lost a car from this battle.
I feel like we did, but it was probably because of pit stops.
Okay, all right. Waiting for Nolan to jump in and say we've had an accident or something, but
yeah, we've
so
got like 3 cars into the grandstands.
Oh.
Yeah, it looks like a couple of the cars who were in that battle have made the move down pit road, and that's why we're seeing it. Get a little more spaced out in that GT Pro class.
Well, here's the best part. They're all going to pit, and they're all going to come back together. So
yep.
Give it 5 minutes, and we'll be talking about it.
Marco Villela was one of the cars in that group that made the move down. In that 88 car. Ooh. It's that 24 of Nuno Vinagre still. I feel like he's been racing with someone basically all night long. Now has that inside lane back over Sam Spinell, and he will take the spot. There's one more GT behind him, but once again, that is the AM car of Ryan Huff, who's sitting another lap down, not playing a role in this battle at all.
So one of the things that iRacing did with the most recent update for the 24, I don't know if they didn't like the shenanigans that we saw in last year's 24, where basically the esport line was to go way wide in turn 1. They've added an off track now if you go outside of that white line. So you won't be seeing any of that this year, and it's interesting to see everybody staying well inside that white line now. So bit of a change from last year to this year.
I feel like I always went outside of that white line, so I'm one of those drivers that would have a lot of problems. As Spinell is back to the outside lane here on Nuno Vinagre as they head their way down into this back stretch chicane. Vinagre holds strong once again, and Spinell has to back out. Is this Martin Maconi, Kyle Burney? Is this what we're seeing for the GTP lead right now? Is this on track for position? Looks like it is. Kyle Burney is right up to the rear of that 7 car. Martin Maconi, the extra pit stop time maybe as the result of the driver change there for that VSR Competition Blanco car, has Marconi only slightly ahead of Kyle Burney, who's been behind the wheel of that Wastegate 32 for over an hour now and is right up on the bumper. A little bit outside that white line. He has to let off, and he will lose about half a second there. That was close.
Outside of turn 1 is bumpy, too, so...
Yeah, it is.
You don't want to go too far out there to really upset the car. And then you get the rubber on the tires, and it's just not a good combination. And then you have to somehow go through the kink full speed and hope you'd clean the tires off by the time you got there. Looks like he's gaining back up nicely here through the infield. We'll see what he can do when he gets out onto the oval. Oh, this is going to hurt the leading car here.
Yeah, a couple lap cars are going to be in the way here before too long as Kyle Burney continues his pursuit of 7 of Martin Maconi, and he'll have a slipstream here as these two swerve up and down the racetrack, putting the lap cars away. It's Burney, it's Marconi. Here we go into the backstretch chicane. Will Kyle Burney look for a move, or will he just look to bide time? He'll stay behind that 7 car for now, but as we head out onto oval turns 3 and 4, he'll have the jump to the outside. It was a bad corner for Martin Marconi, and Kyle Burney is trying to unseat the 7 car after 2 hours in the lead for the VSR Competition machine. Burney for Wastegate Racing in the 32 has the outside lane, but he's got to hold that outside lane down into turn 1, which has been a struggle all race long. 2 lap cars up in front of him. How is this going to affect this corner? It's going to cause Marconi to back out, and Kyle Burney is clear for the overall lead of the race.
This is going to get tight. Okay. Let's hope the Porsche sees him. Already does. All right, Kyle's going to drive off here a little loose there on exit, but it seems like he's got it back under control. Almost contact there between second place and the Porsche behind. Oh. Just out of... Okay, all right, they made it. There's another prototype coming through there on that Porsche, which I believe is our P3 and Pro, GT Pro, and it was a little sketchy there on the exit of the old kink, but they survived, so...
Man, let me tell you, Kyle Burney is getting away now. 1.3 seconds from him back to Martin Marconi in the 7 car. It is free fall for him, and after so long up in front for that 7 machine, hours in the lead with the driving of his teammate Sergi Lazare, it's all gone wrong for Marconi, and it's now a 2.6 second gap. He's going to be under threat from Joao Vitor Delgado soon. In that 12 car, Delgado, not really a factor over the course of the last run. We saw him lose so much time to Marconi's predecessor in that 7 car, Lazare, but now that Marconi's in the car, that driver change has occurred. Watch out for the BMW M-Team Delta car. Vitor Delgado behind the wheel of that one with some serious speed right now, and he is hot on the tail of Marconi.
Is this Martin's first stint in the car? Or
do not believe it is. He did run earlier. He has. Let me get you the lap count. 90 in the car right now for VSR Competition Blanco, but that pales in comparison to his teammates. Lazare has put 170 in, Aragon 167.
Okay, so maybe it's just taking him some time to get back into the flow of things. You know, take a few laps here or there. Maybe he'll get back up to the pace. It's you don't want to go out there. It's cold tires, throw the thing away. We've got 9.5 hours, a little under 9.5 hours left in the race, you know. Maybe the coffee hasn't kicked in just yet. Who knows?
Hey, speaking of coffee, I'm going to crack open a Dr. Pepper. I'm getting ready for these last 2 hours.
Is it a normal Dr. Pepper? We got a diet.
We got some normal Dr. Pepper going on. Christian Hill, who, if you were watching about 3 hours ago, you might recall, got very upset at me for spelling out the word doctor in Dr. Pepper.
Oh no. How could you?
Delgado is actually right back on it here. Delgado trying to get around Marconi. His gap is 0.15 seconds, and Delgado is right on his bumper as we head across the start-finish line to take yet another lap 428 here for Delgado as he's around the outside of Marconi, has to back out. He'll look to close it back down to the inside there and maybe try and move down into the horseshoe. That'll be the next passing zone for this car. Big send to the outside for Joao Vitor Delgado. Can he make it stick around the outside of Martin Marconi? The answer is no. Marconi will hold the lead for now, but Delgado not gone yet. He'll pull right back in behind that 7 car. And as we head down to the other side of the horseshoe, Delgado will look for P2.
Oh no, he's got a great run. Is he going to send it? No, he's going to wait. Good call. 2 GT3. Oh, he's peeking up the inside here on exit. Both going to clear the 2 GT3s. Three GT3s here on the outside on oval 2. I'm not expecting a pass here into the bus stop, or the Le Mans chicane, I believe it is called. But we'll see what we can do down to the start-finish line here. See if they both get pretty good exits. It looks like there's pretty normal, no real advantage to either car. Not really gaining in the slipstream like I thought he would. Yeah, I don't think we're going to see a pass into turn 1 unless it's an absolute sin from, I don't know, Miami. I'm trying to think of cities in Florida that are really far away from Daytona. Like Miami might be the farthest you can get, but someone can fact check me on that one. Oh, he's really got the turn 1 exit down. Last time through here he gained a lot through the infield. Don't know if that correlates to setup. Maybe he's running a little more downforce than the car in front. GT3 might play a little bit of a factor here into the horseshoe. Oh, GT3 picks the middle. That's an inch. Oh no. Oh, they make contact on the, all right, they're still on track. Okay, we're okay. GT3.
Man, look at how much Kyle Burney has checked out from this group. 6 seconds from the 32 of Kyle Burney to the 7 of Martin Marconi. Marconi was just up there racing with him less than 10 minutes ago. I mean, this has just been a wild drive for Kyle Burney, and it's going to be a lot for that 7 car to make up. Once some of those other drivers do get back in the car, maybe Burney swapping out the driver change will help him. Not sure, but for now, Kyle Burney has that 32 car in great shape.
It's a weekend at Burney's.
And it is Kyle Burney's, in fact.
Kyle Burney's.
Not to be confused with any other Burney that may be out there.
Yeah, Kyle's put in some good lap times here. He's really checking out, getting the pace going. Now that he's not having to worry about getting around, you know, a similar car. These guys are now side by side through this. This is attention. Just let him have it.
Delgado is going to take it away there from Marconi, and we will see if Marconi ends up fighting back at all, or if Marconi continues to slip back like he has been doing over the last 5 or 6 laps here around Daytona. This is the slowest we've seen that 7 car in a while. Just something happened when Marconi got in the car, maybe not jiving with the setup, but that thing has just been in free fall for several laps now. It was a multiple second lead for that 7 car back when it had Lazare in it. Is now 6.5 seconds to Kyle Burney. I was really checking out. Battle is trying to go for second in LMP2. We've seen the 87 car, Alfonso Reyes, behind the wheel of that one for RTR, RIC Team Racing number 2. He has slowly but surely been reeling in that 23 car, twin-turn SRV, currently driven by Lucas Moncla. We'll see if maybe over the next 20 or 30 minutes we get a battle for the lead of LMP2, or maybe by the fact that it was not a great corner for the 23 car, the next 5 or 10 minutes, because he is right there as this 23 is getting trapped behind Cedric Gaudreau in the 18 GT Pro car.
87 had a bit of a moment in the middle of turn 1. That's why my reaction was what it was. Give it a little bit of flash of lights, like, hey, yep, coming through. Thank you. Leash of space. There we go. Oh man, the leader is just catching traffic at the worst time. 87 is really eating him up. He's brought this down from 2 seconds at the start of the lap just because of where the leader caught the traffic. Oh, that's tight. Okay. And yeah, nope, survived. Oh, there's a car facing backwards.
That is Vincent Herbier. He was running in a decent position there. Top 5 or so cars in GT Pro in the SimCity Racing 71. That car has been competitive over the last little bit of racing time. What happened there? That's going to be a big setback for that car.
Oh no, just a little hard on the brakes, pivot on the front nose.
Yep.
Yep. All right.
That is exactly what happened.
This is the worst place to spin because the cars coming into the corner can't see because of the wall, and you're just sitting there.
Yeah, you can't park there.
Waiting. Yeah.
This is the battle for that lead in LMP2. I pointed it out last time around, but Moncla has slowed down a lot, and Reyes has closed up much faster than I think we were really anticipating him to do. That 87 car will jump to the outside, and he's going to take a big lunge down into this corner. He's got another car in front of him, so I'm not sure how well this is going to work. He's going to make it happen pretty well there. How about Alfonso Reyes in the 87? What a power move on the outside. He's leading LMP2 right now with 9 hours and 15 minutes left.
My goodness. It's not often you can clip that, like, that yellow curve in the middle of that little S there at the exit of turn 1 and survive it. And Alfonso did that, and he's still alive, so, whew. Man.
That was a movie there for Alfonso Reyes, and he is going to try to get clear of Lucas Moncla now for the continued lead of that LMP2 class. So we've had 2 class lead changes here in a very short amount of time. GTP been upended with the newfound dominance of Kyle Burney in the 32 for that Ferrari, absolutely cruising out here in front of the field. And Alfonso Reyes now up in the lead of LMP2. Not a very wide car selection there, but he is leading in that Dallara. Still a pretty big gap back here in GT AM and GTP Pro. Is El Barga in the pits for the lead of the GT AM class? Looks like he might be from how close Huff is gaining. Yes, El Barga, leader of GT AM, into the pits. So Ryan Huff will take over on pit strategy there.
Alonso is doing the Carlton and dancing away. I don't know if anybody's going to get that reference too. So.
Oh, Ryan Huff also came in the pit, so it is that 283 car Blocco Motore AM of Stevie Manatitis out in front now of that GT3 AM class on pit strategy. GT Pro currently under the command of Travis Linscomb Hatfield. There are a couple different pit stop strategies going down right now in GT3. So it is Linscomb Hatfield, Nuno Vinagre, and Aaron Beaver, who are currently the top 3 in that class. None of those drivers have pit. Most recent, or furthest up driver who has pit is currently the 57 of Sam Spinell behind the wheel for Double Stint Racing. And then it is Eric Van Spijker in that Blocco Motore car, who is the next car. He currently sits 5th in that GT Pro class. Blocco Motore has been the class of the field, but I think somewhere in the last pit cycle they did get upended. And Sam Spinell is out in front right now in that 57 when this all cycles around. How about Tane Hodson? 912 car right now in that GT3 AM class, team Frida Sport. I believe he has ran the most laps of any driver on the racetrack. Yes, he has been in command for 233 of his team's 402 laps over the course of today, with his teammate Logan Giesbrecht running 113. Diego Rodriguez, 57. Only driver anywhere close is currently behind the wheel of the 512 Rescue Skill LMP2. It's Luke Zanke, which ran 232. It's a pretty big gap back to your current LMP2 leader, Alfonso Reyes, who has ran just shy of 200. He's got 198 behind the wheel of that car.
last-minute timing and scoring to just kind of get my bearings back after all these pit stops that have been made recently.
We've got some close battles trying to go all throughout the field right now. I'd say a lot of cars are kind of dealing with this pit cycle, and that's the main sort of drama going down right now as we see who's going to come out, who's going to come out ahead, who's going to come out behind as we do have this pit cycle ongoing. 87 is clearing some GT cars back here. That is Alfonso Reyes continuing to stay out in front of this field, and he is pulling away from Moncala, not as much as Kyle Burney, just kind of checked out up front in the GTP class, but he's still a decent amount ahead of Moncala, 0.6 of a second lead, although over the last lap, that 23 car has caught a bit of slipstream off of Alfonso Reyes and has massively eaten into that gap. 23 car might be back for round 2 here before too long. As you can see, he's really got the draft here. Reyes has a bit of a draft too, but it's off some slower cars. Yes, the GT3 is up in front of him. He is going to hope he can catch them now, and he's not going to have to deal with them later. That's Sam Spinell for the 57 double stint car in the pits. He came down about 6 laps or so, so maybe an issue there causing him to pit again. As that 87 car makes his way down into the corner, gets clear of those 2 lappers, and now has a bit of a buffer in between himself and Lucas Moncla, who is going to go into free fall and almost door a lap car there.
Oh, Lucas is not happy. He caught them in a really bad spot. And now the GTP behind is catching them in a really bad spot. Oh, this could get feisty here into the kink.
This is going to get feisty here pretty quickly. Ooh.
I cannot tell you how terrifying that is as a GT3 car when someone shoots it up the inside through the kink. Oh my goodness, we've all been there. It's just, it's giving me flashbacks of every year at the 24.
I have done a 24-hour race. I've done 2 of them before. One I was in a Kia Optima, and one I was in a Mazda MX-5. And what they don't tell you about doing a 24-hour race at Zolder in those cars is that it is horrifying. It is horrifying.
Land of the curbs. Oh, man. Oh, that's
I'll tell you what, though. We wrecked that Kia Optima about 8 times. That thing was indestructible. Never seen anything like it. You could flip that car over. We did at one point. Flipped it over. Took it to the pits, 8.5 minutes of repair, and it was driving like brand new.
Heck. Korean engineering at its finest.
Oh, indestructible. As we got a battle going on further back in GT Pro right now. This is that 57 double stint car, Sam Spinell, fresh out of the pits, and he's got that 58 car, the 88 car right behind him. Spinell loose, I believe this is on new tires for the 57. Doesn't have the heat in him yet. And Marco Villela is right back to the inside. He'll steal that spot away. He'll take P8. Juan Figueroa Correa right behind him in the VSR Competición Narrow car. That is the sister car to the 7 car that was up in the lead for a while in GTP, has now fallen back to 3rd. The GT sister car currently sits in 10th. I'm not sure if we have any other drivers in an Acura out here tonight, but that VSR Competición car is in an Acura. I believe it is the only Acura.
Oh, backstory on Honda and how they chose the Acura name. They wanted to be at the top of the list when it comes to searching for a car on a website. So they picked a name that started with an A. So whenever you hit that little drop down, Acura is the first one you're going to see.
I had a buddy like that. His last name starts with an A-B, and he just gets doxxed on any website he's on immediately. As we see Correa go way wide in contact. Sam Spinell into the back of Marco Villela. Correa went wide. That is Villela around, and Sam Spinell is going to get away. But seeing as how previous incidents have gone, I wouldn't be too surprised if he ends up with a bit of a penalty there for that punt. Be careful. We've seen a couple punts in the GT3 class over the course of this night. I think we've seen more punts in that class than we saw in the Bears game earlier today.
Which, by the way, I stopped watching that game at halftime.
Yeah, I was calling this race, unfortunately, so I did not get to see it.
I shouldn't have turned it off.
Yeah. No, I live with a Bears fan. I am an Eagles fan. We are going to have a week next week, let me tell you.
Oh, yeah, battle of the beast, I guess.
A house divided. This
My
battle
team,
is
my team didn't make the playoffs, so
heartbreaking. GTAM is Ryan Huff with a penalty. GTAM was getting really tight. Ryan Huff has been slapped to the black flag. Not sure what for, but that battle was getting set to go, and all of a sudden Ryan Huff, maybe an incident limit black flag in the 75, and what looked like a promising fight has fizzled out before it could really get going there.
rolling 10x penalties, I believe. So
Lucas Lager just got one as well. We've seen a couple. Lucas Lager just got one as well. Intercomp Fisher, the 90 car, has just received one. I'm having trouble keeping up with all of them because there are about 3 of them that have just been issued.
Well, good news
the 88 Marco Vallela just got one as well. And the 51 car of World of Sim Racing, Danny Fonte behind the wheel of that car just got one. So that was about 5 or 6 black flags in very quick succession there. I wonder if that was for the incident point limit.
Well, the good news is if it
Rob
is
Casair in the 90 just got another.
You've got resets. You've got 9 more to play with before you have to drive through the pits again. So
don't use them.
Yeah.
Plus, it could get very bad very quickly for you if you have to keep making those moves down pit road, as Ryan Huff just did. He'll go all the way back to 3rd in class. Stevie Amanatitis now 2nd in GTAM, but it's a 13.5 second gap separating him and Saganchi up front.
I imagine they're getting them through the bus stop. There's not a lot of places here to get an X outside of turn 1, obviously now, but bus stop, if you cut it too early in a couple of spots, you might get a 1X there. We did just have that little collision in turn 1, though. That could have given a 4X to someone. They might have been riding on like a 6 or a 7X and it put them over the top. These guys are tight.
It's always scary when you've got that, when you're side by side like that, and then you've also got the lap car trying to get around you. Man, it's just not a great feeling. As you see, this is the 84 car right here. That is Unitronic Fisher Motorsports. Aaron Beaver behind the wheel. That was for position right there, with Correa currently behind the wheel of the VSR Competition Nero car. Correa has the spot for now, a little bit of a gap, and then it will be Sam Spinale in the 57 back up front. This is that space on the racetrack where we saw that wreck happen not too long ago. Some GTPs trying to get through. Thomas Martin in the V1M car making moves back here, pushing that 84 up the road.
Goodness. Oh, no, not again. Okay. That GTP is a bit aggressive for my liking, but he got the job done, didn't kill anybody in the way, so it's all right.
We're approaching 9 hours left to go in this race. It'll be me and Teddy with you for the next hour as well once again. And it will once again be Nolan Rempel. We are not free of him yet in the production booth.
I need to check in. His dog tried to destroy something when I first jumped on here. I think everything's okay. Seems to be fine.
What he hasn't told us is he's been out of the house for the last hour asleep, and he's just put it on auto. 68 car. That is the Tulima Racing car, currently sitting 4th in GT Pro. Driver change pretty recently behind the wheel. That one, Marco Silva, has gone behind the wheel as part of the, I'll say, trend at this point in the race of European drivers taking over for non-European drivers, as Marco Silva from Portugal on his iRacing profile, take it over from the American Travis Linscomb Hatfield, as it is morning in Portugal, and it is very much not morning here in America, as it is past 1 a.m. now where Daytona is on the East Coast.
That was such a nice thing to have from a schedule standpoint. If you had someone across the pond, you could let them go to sleep. You do some evening stints. They hop on about midnight your time. It's like 8 a.m. over them for them, and yeah, everybody's happy. You don't have to change your schedule too much. Works out for them.
I mentioned this about an hour ago, but since I mentioned it an hour ago, it has only become more of a trend of a large amount of European country flags popping up on the timing tower here for the taking over from some of the American drivers in the field over the last little bit. I just go down the list right now. We've got Lucas Lager from Switzerland, Marconi, Spanish, Thomas Martins, an Australian out here, Rico Kohlmeier, Germany, Correa from Spain, Pino from Portugal. Canada doesn't count, I fear. Rafael Lippi from Brazil. That is Gabriel Cresta from Brazil. You've got a couple Portuguese drivers in the field right now. Nuno Magalhães is from Portugal. Marco Silva. Sam Spinell out of Belgium. Reyes Soganzi out of Turkey. I mean, you got them all over the field here. Valela, Roberto Arthur from Portugal.
If you're on the western part of Canada, it's
you're
only
having a decent time.
Yeah, it's only what 11
11
p.m. out there.
English driver out here in the field.
Unfortunately, it's like the bulk of the GTM field is
Meatball flag for the
from the United
747.
States.
Thank you, chat, for informing us of that. Problems, that is the Flight Level Racing 747 with some pretty serious rear end damage on that car. And we're going to have to take a look back
that
at
wheel is
what
not
happened there.
Angled.
We're going to try to find it. We'll see if we can find it here on a replay for you. We'll find out if we have it here very shortly.
Oh no.
Owen Chen behind the wheel of the car at the time. He's in the back chicane, which is not a place you want to lose it. He's clean through here. No, he isn't clean through there. Oh, big hit to the left front of that 747 car. Really smacked that whole left side into the wall, and that is a meatball and major damage. We're going to have to spend a while to get that fixed, and Jason Ketty will go behind the wheel when it is all said and done. Another German in the car.
I believe this is still just a replay of Owen?
Yes, this is a replay of Owen Chen.
Yeah, just a little wide.
Too much on the throttle.
Yep. And then this is an awkward spot to be. You're looking back at the field. Like, when can I pull forward? You don't want to pull forward and then have to stop. It's just awkward. And then you limp back to the pits with your tail between your legs and hope you don't wreck it again. And now you got to debrief with the team and apologize 8,000 times. It's just rough. Really, I'm speaking from experience. So.
Not ideal. Not ideal at all right now for that car. So we are under 9 hours remaining in this race, and as such, I would like to thank our sponsor once again, Maconi Setup Shop. When you want to be the best, you need Maconi Entertainment. You can't settle for the rest. For anything on iRacing, there's just one name you need, Maconi. With Maconi Setup Shop, they now provide the best of the best in setups, paint schemes, coaching, and event organization. With cars across all 4 license classes, they have what you need to hit the track with confidence. Grab a subscription starting at only $8 a month and save money while going fast at MaconiSetupShop.com/subscriptions. And remember, at Maconi Setup Shop, they're their setups, but your victories. I'll tell you what, as I was doing that ad read, I had my camera set to Jason Ketty in the pits, and every time a car with yellow headlights drove by, it lit up the grandstands all yellow, and I thought a caution was coming out.
Got bamboozled.
Happened about 3 times there. We are going to get a replay of Tony Allison in the GTM class, the number 4 car, Superstar Racing Team Yellow Machine. What happened to him down here? It's coming out of turn 3, and he's just going to loop it into the grass. If you're going to have a crash, that is the kind of crash you want to have, because that car sustained no damage, and it's going to get away pretty cleanly.
checking out Maconi's website right now. Looks like they've got all GT3s discounted for next week's 24 event. You can get all of them, looks like, for one price, so that's nice. Same with the GTPs, or you can just get, you know, bundle the GTPs and the GT3s all together. So
here's the battle
that's a
for
cool
here's the battle for fourth in GT Pro. This is starting to form up right now. You've got that 68 car, Marco Silva, in the telemetry racing machine. I just got that joke out of Portugal. And then the 73 Epic Vans Pulsar Esports team, Joao Pedro Teixeira behind the wheel of that one, as he sits in fifth and is going to look to close in. Teixeira with a pretty decent run right here, but he'll back out. And Silva will keep that spot down into the chicane. Wonder if Teixeira will go for it into one, or if he'll just try to pressure Silva into a mistake.
I absolutely love the 68 team name. That is, that's just clever and punny, and yeah, I mean, that's. I read it earlier and I was like, I think that's how you pronounce it, and then I had to hear you say it before it made sense, and then I'm glad you caught it. Yeah, telemetry.
As there is a big move there for Teixeira. Silva just kind of backed out, didn't want to fight too hard, and he gave Joao Pedro Teixeira the spot. That car up to fourth for Epic Vans Pulsar Esports team, that bright yellow and white machine. Pretty decent gap, though. 6 seconds separate him and Vincent Herbier in third in that class. See a battle going on for eighth in GT Pro as well. Got the 13 VSR Competition car of Correa, right ahead of the 157 of Christopher Block. I believe Correa has made this move pretty recently, as Block was in front of him not too many laps ago. But Christopher Block in the iRacing Today Motorsports car will look to get the spot back here before too long.
Looking at timing and scoring, to the GTP class, Martin in P3 has fallen back to about 14 seconds now. Bernie's in the pits, I believe. Yes. Westgate coming in for a stop here. Let's see if Kyle stays in the car, if he's going to get out. Yep, he's getting out. All right.
Bernie's been in there for a little while now, so not too surprised.
Yeah,
Jason Bernie will get behind the wheel. So we've still got a Bernie in there. We just got a different one. Weekend at both Bernies, one might say.
Dude, if we get those guys in here for an interview, I'm curious, because I wonder if they're like, if they're brothers, cousins, if they're Sims, they're sitting like in the same room together. That'd be cool.
It'd be fun. We might get him at some point later on here, as Delgado stays out in GTP lead. Marconi sitting in second in that 7 car. 14 seconds back. That 7 car has struggled over this stint, and I think once somebody else gets in that car, they might hope for a caution to close that gap for him.
Yeah, he's Martin's about 1.5 seconds slower the last couple of laps than Delgado. Delgado ran a 35.9 to Martin's 37.6. I don't know, maybe there could be something wrong with the car that we don't know. Hey, he's still rolling. He's not dead. So that's
he's crashed. He's crashed. Never mind. He's just crashed.
No.
You jinxed him. Martin Marconi is sideways in the middle of the back chicane.
Oh, man. Well, it's bound to happen sometime, right? Well, I'm going to say I jinxed him because I didn't even get to finish the sentence before. It's just, what do you do?
Just caught the curb.
Sorry, Martin. That's all right.
You say that, I see him start dropping down the ticker. I'm like, oh, he must have pit. Nope, he's crashed. And he's going to pit now after the crash as well. So, insult to injury. I think he might have just been a scheduled stop. What happened to Jason Burney? Because he's lost a decent amount of time. Did he have any sort of moment there, or did he just lose some time? Did he have to make another run down pit road? What happened? Might have just lost a lot of time? All right, just lost a lot of time. Fair enough.
cold tires, taking time to warm up, Nate.
Maybe it was the driver change. Just took a while in that 32 car. I thought he was 40 seconds behind. Ended up 1 minute and 1 second behind. Martin Marconi is going to get out of the pits ahead of that 32 car. Is the crucial part. Oh, it was a drive-through for Martin Marconi. Okay, so an incident .1 there. That is what triggered that. I thought that was a scheduled pit stop for the 7 car. It wasn't. It was a black flag, and that's how he got out ahead of Bernie. That makes more sense.
Still showing he's got a...
It's not showing it on my end, so I'm going to assume it has been cleared.
Hit refresh over here and see if...
There's a furled black flag for the 757 car. That's the only one I see right now.
Yeah, I had to hit refresh. I'll type in score it. We're good.
There you go. We are at 12:18 p.m. in Central Time, the real time
Something going on with Campos?
Pretty big gaps in the field. We will, I'll check on that for you, as we have some pretty big gaps going throughout the field. Oh,
yeah, okay.
That car is totaled for Daniel Campos.
Oh, is he just in the pits? Okay.
It was a scheduled pit stop. Okay. Does that car look damaged, or is that just the weird angle? That's just the weird angle. 10-4.
Yeah.
I saw that car crumple, and I thought it looked broken. Okay, good to know. This is I'm a GT3 driver. I don't drive the GTPs. That car was at a very weird angle, and I thought it was broken. That is my bad. Not total. Everyone, please point and laugh at Nolan Rempel for spelling total wrong.
Yep, add an extra L there. Total lead laps. We'll make it work. Yeah,
I just saw the big hole in the nose and went, whoa.
Yeah, I don't know what the BMW design team was thinking with the massive snout they decided to go with for the version of their cars, but they did. So, the only thing I like about it is the fact that they put LEDs inside that big orifice, we'll call it. And, yeah, that's about the only thing I can say I like about it. Other than that, it sounds weird and it looks fun. But
Campos has made it out in front of Jason Burney, but not by a very large margin. It seems like the gap right now is about 0.7 of a second separating Burney and Campos at the present moment. Danny Fonte in the 51 is right behind this group, but he has not pit yet, which is the issue. The V1M of Rico Kohlmeyer will bring it into the pits. And Fonte has been so quick, this car would be a contender for the lead if it wasn't for the fact that we have not had a caution in 2 hours, and he's been trapped a lap down.
She was close.
The 1 car of Fonte gets clear there of Jason Burney for P2. Once again, that car is in a very weird situation because it has not pit yet. If that car had not started this run a lap down, it would legitimately be in the lead by about 10 or 15 seconds. Right now, it has been
just unlapped
so fast all race long. He just unlapped himself on pure speed. He does have to pit again here, but he will still likely come out on the lead lap after all of this, as we've got some drama with the lap cars there. Fonte is absolutely torching Campos and Burney right now, and he hasn't pit in about 25 laps. Oof. That's speed.
Yeah. Made his way through the GT3s there, and just, yeah. I mean, he's out there making laps. Just, that's all he can do until a caution comes out, or if, you know, if they've got 9 hours. I mean, what's the math on that? 15, make up 15 seconds every hour, and he'll catch back up. So
maybe. Who knows?
And that little shot right there, he made up about 3, so I think he's on his way.
Bernie is right on the bumper here of Daniel Campos in the 12 car, but they've got to navigate all of this lap traffic, and let me tell you, it is a lot of lap traffic. As Campos has it. Oh, Bernie's going to go down to the inside. Campos almost blocked him, chose to let up, and now it's Jason Burney to the bottom. He's got Raphael Lippi 1 lap down behind him that's pushing that 32 car along. Jason Burney back up to the lead of the GTP class. Rafael Lippi's going to try to unlap himself here.
Just let him have it, Jason. Just let him have it. Don't need to fight it. Let him go. There you go. You got 8 hours and 46 minutes left.
Nolan, we have received a comment in chat asking, are you ready to feel the fire on Tuesday night?
Oh.
He says yes, he is ready. He's ready to feel the fire. I'm ready to feel the fire of some good racing here. We've got GTP class continuing to go on. Sven Albrecht in the 96. I don't think I've talked about him or that Albrecht Motorsports car at all over the last 2 hours. He still does have to pit. He's up here on a little bit of pit strategy being played, but that car has some good speed in it. Running in third, pretty similar position to that other car back there, that 51 World of Sim Racing car. Could work out for him. That World of Sim Racing car, by the way, has had a driver change. It is Edex Martinez Sanchez behind the wheel of that one. As Martin Marconi, I think, just had to make another run through the pits. He is 52 seconds back of your leader, Jason Burney.
And he's at 17 incident points, so another 3, and he's going to have to make another drive back down to pits.
Jonathan Duncan, whoa, big spin there through turn 7 in the 83 car. Off in the S's Racing. We will let that one hang. It's kind of an S. It's spiritually an S. Let me make my joke, producer. Let me have my funny.
I don't know who taught you how to write, Sky. Sky, there's an S in your name. 2 of them. So.
There's 2 of them. Yeah. There you go. Off in the S's. I'm going to hold him to that. If he goes off in the S's, I will word for word repeat that sentence to you right back. 8 hours, 43 minutes, and 56 seconds left in this race at Daytona. And Daniel Campos has not gone away from Jason Burney, only about an 0.8 of a second gap separating those 2 cars as the Ferrari of Burney continues to make great time up at the front of the field right now. I believe it's the only Ferrari up here anywhere up front. Thomas Martin currently sitting 6th. Those are your 2 Ferraris in the GTP class. That's a car off down there. Who is that on the inside? Not just... Oh, okay. It is the Competition car, Red Lab Competition, who have had, one might say, the worst race imaginable behind the wheel of the 554 car, and it's going to get a little bit worse there. Almost some contact with the car in front of him and has to spin out. That car is second last in GTP. Last of cars running as Aries Racing only made it about 30 laps into this one before ending up out. 26 laps down. They are running 1 spot behind GT3, Matco Fisher Motorsport. They are on the same lap as the GT Pros, though, so they could get some positions back if they have a little bit of a recovery drive. Saul Sanchez Flores in the GT Pro class, World of Sim Racing 151. That car, about the closest that battle for GT Pro has been in quite a minute. Eric von Spitker behind the wheel of that Blocco Motore 183 car, but he's not doing so hot out front. As though we have another spinner a little further back. Let me get who that was. John Javecki for Pax Sim Sport, one of the GTPs, has just binned it in turn 1. Oh my goodness! Matthew J. Luke almost hit him. It was in turn 6. John Javicki is going to go down into this corner. He's just going to lose it, break it, lock it up. He's going to get stuck here. The scary is going to come when he gets back going, because it's not really anything he does, but there is going to be a car that comes flying in here, and you'll see it in a second. Ooh. That was a scary moment there for John Javicki in the 55, and that car was right in front of him there.
So the battle for P1 and GTP here. Half a second separates them. We made fun of the BMW and how it looks, but it seems to be pretty racy here. So
It does.
Battle of the top of the alphabet between the Acura and the BMW.
Another penalty being given out for a car further back in the field. Let me get you who that is. There's 2 flags out right now. One for the Go Win, number 19, Chip Michaels sits behind the wheel of that one. And one for the VSR Competition Narrow car, driven by Juan Figueroa Correa. Both cars in GT Pro. Both cars running towards the mid-pack right now in that, and they will have black flags that they will have to serve, I assume, for some incident point violations. I believe we are going to get an interview here very shortly from the Telemetry 68 car, Travis Linscomb Hatfield. Travis, how you doing?
I'm good, man. How y'all doing?
Pretty good. You had a pretty good stint there over your run. We're contending for the lead of that class pretty often. How was it?
Well, I mean, most of it was good, but I did have to remind myself that Tokyo drifting the restart through the chicane is not the fastest way to take a restart. But after I reminded myself of that, everything was pretty alright.
There you go. Yeah, you had some tight racing up there. How is it right now when you're, I mean, this deep into a race, 15, 16 hours in? Does it just get more stressful when you're racing with these guys?
Well, I mean, I already lost track of how many coffees I've had at this point, so really there's no stress, just caffeine. You know, we're driving around, we're having a good time. This is a happy spot. I heard you guys liked my name. Do you guys want to know where it came from?
I was gonna ask.
Yeah,
I really
sure.
want to know.
Let's. You guys ready for some late night math? Because it's coming for you. All right. So bear with me here. Bear with me. So when you're doing some proofs, right? You're trying to prove some mathematical theorem. You're gonna start with some lemmas. You're gonna start with some existing little baby proofs that say like things like, you know, even numbers exist, right? That's a good little lemma to be working with. Now, when you have those lemmas, they let you make bigger proofs, and here's the real stretch. So if you'll go to like maybe the right rear suspension camera on my car here, you will see two sets of 3 little dots. And the stretch is that a lemma can kind of sometimes maybe be shown with that therefore symbol of 3 dots. If you stack 2 of those little bad boys on top of each other, you got a little tree. So then you got a 2 lemma tree. So you made a cool big thing out of 2 little things, and it also sounds like telemetry, which is really all that matters here. So
Yeah. I was gonna say, I just saw, ooh, telemetry. Oh, I get it now.
yeah. All right, there we go.
This is the nerdiest conversation I've had past 12 a.m. I think in a long time.
Brother, I used to have to have nerdy conversations. You just gotta let it out. You just gotta let that math out.
I used to live with 3 meteorology majors, and let me tell you, the stuff that would happen at 2 a.m.
Do they make it all up? Do they like? Is there a plan behind it, or do they just go like throw some rocks and go rain? No rain. No.
See, the secret of meteorology now is that computers just kind of do it all for you. They figured out computers that just tell you what the weather is going to be. And you just got to read off the computer.
AI could probably replace meteorologists. I mean, it's
considering that is my future career field, no. But also, yeah.
Don't do it. Don't let them take your job.
Anyways, not gonna come back.
But I'm glad that you guys got to have a little math time with me tonight. So
there you go.
Thank you, Travis.
All right, you guys have fun.
I gotta ask real quick. Well, he's gone. Never mind.
Man, he's gone.
I was gonna ask him if he had one more stint in him, if he was just gonna go for the all-nighter here, but I fear we may never know.
Oh, he's back.
He seemed very energetic for it being Hey, you're back. All right, I was going to ask you, are you going for the all-nighter here? Are you going to keep going with the coffee?
What was the question?
I was going to ask you, are you going for the all-nighter, or are you going to have some more coffee here? What's the plan for you?
So here's the thing. At one point, I really did think there was sleep on the menu, but I think sleep is maybe off the menu, and we'll just, you know, round 18 or so of caffeine,
There you
and
go.
we'll sleep after, and it's fine. Okay.
How many cups of coffee have you had?
Have fun.
Would you say
A lot of coffee, but again, we're good. We're doing like we're on the podium. Coffee is clearly the key to success.
Travis is giving me that Yes Man scene where Jim Carrey gets out of the car with the Red Bull cans laying all the ground, and he's like, I had Red Bull, really like Red Bull, really like Red Bull.
Yeah.
Travis,
Yeah.
maybe we need to put a cup count on you or something. Remember, there is a maximum that you can have during the day before you start having some side effects on your heart, so...
Oh, I've been there already.
Good point. That is an important organ. All right. Well, I'm gonna actually leave now. So
Have
you
fun.
guys have a great time. Bye-bye.
Have a great day, Travis. All right. Hey, battle for the lead still. Daniel Campos is right behind Jason Birdie. That's been going for a little bit now. I made the joke earlier. I think this was not said on stream, but I did make the joke that in honor of my Philadelphia Flyers losing 7-2 today, I would drink 72 fluid ounces of Dr. Pepper during my stint.
Oh my goodness.
I think I've hit about 7, so 65 to go in the next hour and a half is what they say.
Yikes. Well, I can join you on the losing side in the hockey team world, so... Blue Jackets did not fare well out in Colorado today, so...
Samuel Ayrson, you are a Guangdong Tiger. Enjoy your career. Our producer does not watch hockey, and he is very confused. Some battles trying to go. I mean, the closest is still the battle for the overall lead. Daniel Campos is really not far behind Jason Burney. Here's one we got going third in GTP Pro. Grow Team Racing White. Nuno Magalhaes behind the wheel of that car right now, that 24 machine. Yeah, Double Stint Racing. Sam
Okay,
Spinell
Derek.
has behind the wheel of that one for a hot minute. Sam Spinell sits right behind him. Will now look up to the outside. Can he finally get that overtake going for P3? Sam Spinell hasn't been up on the podium in a while, but he's been in the car for hours, and he'll finally make the move.
If we can throw up a poll, is hockey a sport? I feel like people are going to say yes.
Yes.
But
I'm that's
one of
the lore.
our
I'm a
crew
hockey
members
commentator.
is saying it's not. So whether he's trolling or just wants to be away. But fair enough. Going back to Travis though, everybody does this. They're like, yep, I'm gonna get out of the car, I'm gonna go to sleep, I'm gonna wake up, do that. And he's the perfect example of, yep, I don't think I'm gonna go to sleep tonight. This is too interesting. I don't want to miss out. There's some real FOMO going on here. Like I remember just stepping away for like 5 or 10 minutes. Oh, that's very close to the wall. And just hoping that when you come back, the car's still moving.
Yeah. The lifespan of his Keurig has declined by about 3 years. Pull up in the booth, Ted. You can take this one.
Yeah, sure.
No, we're gonna pull in Patrick Zaire up into the booth. How you doing?
I'm doing good. How you guys doing?
He's a track limit sim racing driver. Will be driving for the team in future races. How are you thinking about how they're doing tonight?
They're doing really good for their first VSCA race and what they've kind of been challenged with, I guess, with this being so different from just normal special events.
Got anything, Ted?
Is it the 420?
Yeah.
Yep. Okay.
Yep. So the reason why I'm not doing this race is I was supposed to, but I work on an LMP3 team in real life, and I was down in Miami for until like midnight today. So I just got home and I wanted to hop in and help cheer up the boys in the late night stint, because I know the late night stints are the rough ones. Not that any are harder than the other, but
So are you, you've got the real world Roar coming up next weekend?
yeah. So I will sadly, my plan was if I wasn't able to do this one, I could do the iRacing, but with the Roar being the same weekend as the special as well. Yeah. But yeah,
Okay, well.
I'm excited for the Roar this year. It'll be fun.
I'll be, what's the team name? You know, so we can look forward to it.
Yeah. CUNY driver development. There'll be 2 LMP3s in VP.
Okay, sweet. All right. Well, best of luck next weekend, and then the real 24. What are you seeing tonight so far from the team? How's it going in the team chat? Everybody still good spirits? Everybody's doing all right?
Oh yeah, we're still good spirits, still joking and all that, and having a good time. I think when it comes to out in track, they're all doing an amazing job. I think Greg is by far kind of pulling the ropes. He's bringing them back up out of a hole when everyone else needs it, and everyone else is just might not be the fastest, but they're some of the most consistent guys out there. They're always turning around similar lap times. They're not really hurting themselves that much. So I think I think they're doing good.
All right. I'm a fan of the white wheels. Most people say race cars only need to have black wheels, but your livery pulls off the white wheels very well. So thank you for doing that. I guess what's the driver rotation look like coming up? Is Greg staying in the car?
I think Greg is doing a double, if I'm not mistaken, and then after that, I think the rest of the guys are just going to play it by ear. If someone needs to get out of the car to get a little bit of a rest, then they'll just throw someone else in. We'll always have someone on standby, just in case of that, but it'll be mainly go with the flow after. I think Greg does this double stint here.
All right. I'm not normally an LMP2 driver, so when it comes to pits, you're taking tires every time. Like, what's the strategy?
Yeah, we're taking tires every time. No matter what, we'll do unless we're like a short fill and we're just trying to get off cycle and maybe like skip out on GT3 traffic or more traffic in the P2, but it'll usually be fuel and tires always, and then depending on if you're short filling or not, you can do a driver change, because otherwise your driver change will take longer than the fuel and tires.
All right. Well, thanks for explaining that. Sky, you got anything?
No, good luck next week in your future races. What race did you say you were running next?
The Roar, the VP Challenge Roar race, so it should be like 45 minutes during the Roar. But in VSCA, hopefully, if my schedule works out, I will be next in the Sebring race.
All right, well, good luck in both of those. Thanks for joining us, Patrick.
No worries. Thank you for having me.
All right, as we got some battles going on here all throughout the field. This is the 420 car that we were just watching. I think he was going at it with a lapper right there. Daniel Campos still not too far behind for the lead, but Jason Burney's done a good job of holding it. Lucas Santos for Vulture Motorsports in the 64 GT-AM car, and he's going to loop it in turn 3. Looks like he kept it out of the way, though, so it won't be too much of a problem.
It's a battle for 6th, I believe.
Battle's trying to go all over the racetrack here, but when we get some little bit of closer racing over the next few laps or so. Campos caught up to Bernie once again. I feel like I've said that 8 times, but for real this time he's there.
These guys
I'll tell you what.
away from each other.
I said it, okay? I got on this 2.5 hours ago, and I said we were going to run 3 minutes and 43 seconds green. Look at us. Look at us. We've ran 2 hours and 30 minutes green. Streets are saying it's the longest green flag run of the race. I don't know if the streets are accurate. I haven't been here for the others, but it feels like, judging by the fact that we've had 14 yellows, the longest one of the race. It is the longest run of the race. That's the power of manifesting. Nolan, you didn't believe me.
I'm waiting for the series organizers to jump in here and say you two are good luck. You might want to stay in the booth for the next 12 hours.
They're gonna have to pay me about $50 an hour if they want me to do that. I'll be honest with you.
Bernie,
I tried last night. I was like, I'm gonna fix my sleep schedule, and I went to bed at 11:30, completely forgetting I had to do this the next day.
My sleep schedule is
1 a.m.
horrible, so.
Yeah, well, I need to fix it because I have an 8 a.m. class this semester. Ooh.
Ooh,
That's a you problem, Nolan.
6th place got a run. Wait, no, 7th place got a run. 7th place a lap behind? Trying to see what that means. Okay. Sometimes timing and scoring gets us too.
Here's Campos, 0.2 on the timing and scoring behind Jason Burney. I'm going to keep saying Campos' name until he actually makes us a battle here. Hasn't been able to get it side by side yet, but he has been right on the tail of Jason Burney for what feels like the past 7 years, and now he's going to try it once again with a little bit of a peek around the outside. But still nothing happening for the BMW M Team Delta Racing 12 car. Jason Burney clear out in front right now in 32, as he has been for about an hour now.
He and his, the other Bernie were in the, yeah. One Bernie to another. This is a
mess. Train wreck,
What?
I think might be the appropriate word for it, as we've got a battle in GT Pro going on in between about 4 cars trying to lap the battle in GT Pro. This is, actually there's 2 battles going on right now in GT Pro. This is Matco Fisher and VSR Competition Nero. Nero is behind right now. 13 of Sergey Martinez-Duran has gotten behind the wheel of that car. Daniel Gruber in the 44 for Matco Fisher. He'll start to get clear. And this lap car right here of Gabriel Krefta is going to go flying around all these drivers as once again, battle for the lead. It is Campos right on the bumper of Jason Burney as we make our way down into turn 1. He's been there for 20 minutes, and he's going to stay there for another couple seconds as he doesn't have the momentum he would need to actually pull around that 32 car and make the move happen. He's lifting to save fuel, so maybe a strategy call for Campos, or maybe just wanting to save time. That is a totaled car right there. That is a right rear tire not attached for Nuno Ricardo of the Monarch Racing team.
Oh, no.
To keep theme with our hockey references, the Arizona Coyotes
bring out
have
a
crashed.
yellow?
This might be the yellow.
Oh,
No, toe.
Sky,
No.
Oh, no.
Cooked.
He's got to request the.
We'll see if he tows here, because that car is stopped. I wonder if we get a replay on what actually happened there. All right, we'll
This is a
we'll wait
helpless
for
feeling.
confirmation on what the plan is here with this stopped car. Nuno Ricardo and the caution has flown.
Sky doesn't get their wish.
We made it a longest run of the race. Made it 2 hours, 40 minutes. Okay, had a good run. We did not make it 3 hours, 40 minutes. I am blaming everyone in the chat who told me to stay in the booth for this, actually. Look, I'm sorry I got it mostly right, okay?
Well, this
I could have been off by 3 hours, Nolan. Think about that.
What was that? Was it the 51? No. Who was it in GTP that was a lap down that we said if they could get a yellow, that watch out for them?
That was the 51 car, who is actually back on the lead lap right now of Adex Martinez Sanchez for the World of Sim Racing team. 51 started this race in second in a pretty solid position now with this caution.
Now Sanchez gets to catch up. What happened? Wide. Gonna eat. Oh, that's bad.
Oh, nope. Oh, that's a huge one.
That's a shunt.
Yeah, that one's not going back to the pits. That one is trashed. This will be a long full course yellow. Race control
He's wide
has specified, as we are going to get a lot of wave rounds here.
Yeah, that new curb they installed in the exit of the Le Mans chicane is... It's a mean
people
one.
out.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
Especially these LMP2s. They're so close. They're so low to the ground with the floor and everything. It's just... It's not going to take it as well. It's just a little wide here. Once we get there to the middle of the bus stop. I want to always call it the bus stop. That's how it was for years. He's just a little bit wide, and he's just going to miss the turn in for the exit here.
Yeah, he's just going to hit that curb, and it's just going to
Yeah, you can just look at it. It looks like a little pyramid right there. It's just going to... he's trying to steer away from it. It's like that, but right there. Yep. Airborne, all 4 tires off the ground for a split second there. And now you're along for the ride, right? As soon as it lands, you don't know what way it's going to do. Lost the front, got it back, so... But yeah, that's, you're not driving that one back. The right rear is completely detached. I think the right front's towed out, so that's gonna be a lengthy repair.
That is gonna be a very, very long-term repair now as we now sit under caution. Once again here. So we are gonna take I would say it's probably going to be a 15 to 20 minute caution here as we get some wave rounds going. We get everybody put back on the right lap before we get ready to roll once again here in the 24 hours of Daytona. You know what it's a great time for? It's a great time to once again shout out our sponsor at Maconi Setup Shop. When you want to be the best, you can't settle for the rest. For anything on iRacing, there's just one name you need, Maconi. With Maconi Setup Shop, they now provide the best of the best in setups, paint schemes, coaching, and event organization. With cars across all 4 license classes, they have what you need to hit the track with confidence. Grab a subscription starting at only $8 a month and save money while going fast at MaconiSetupShop.com/subscriptions. And remember, at Maconi Setup Shop, they're their setups, but your victories. Let me tell you, it's $8 a month. That's probably about a tenth what that 68 car spent on coffee tonight. Yeah, we'll take a quick commercial break, and when we come back, we will have probably some more caution, but we'll get to analyze the field. Stay tuned.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
We are back, and we are back under caution for the 24 hours of Daytona VSCA, presented once again by Maconi Setup Shop for all your setup shop needs. I am Sky Shrek. I am joined by Ted Lowendick in the booth for another 10 minutes or so, and then Nolan J. Rempel is still our producer here tonight. He might even get to commentate later again. I don't know the schedule. You might be hearing from Nolan once again later on as we continue to get rolling. Wastegate Racing 32 car out in front. Jason Burney, who's been the leader for much of the last hour and a half, 2 hours or so, taking over from that 7 car and holding the lead. Daniel Campos in the 12 put out a pretty big fight, was not able to actually do anything with that fight though, and he still sits second. World of Sim Racing team, Edex Martinez Sanchez in 51 sits in third with Martin Marconi, no relation to Jeff Maconi. In the VSR Competition Bianco car in P4, that is the number 7. Albrecht Motorsports for Sven Albrecht, the 96 runs in P5. V1M, Thomas Martin behind the wheel. That number 10 car sits in 6th. That is the first car 1 lap down. Wouldn't be surprised if they give him another wave round here and get him on the lead lap. Lion GP X Bravo Snow, Raphael Lippi behind the wheel. That one right now sits in 7th. Pax Sim Sport, Christopher Daniel in the 55, running in 8th. Last car of the main GTP group is the BMW M Team TSR GTP. Jordi Vermeulen behind the wheel, that 25 car, currently running in 9th. Leading the LMP2 class right now is Lucas Moncla in that 23 car, running in 1st there. Grow Racing Team Blue, that is Ruben Pinho in the 14, sitting 2nd in class, and Matthew J. Luke, 3rd in class in the 30. We've gone very out of order. 13th is Joao Diaz in the No Limit Sim Racing Academy car. That is a GTP. I guess we'll shout out the last 2 cars in GTP while we're at it. It's BMW M Team Delta, Gabriel Krepta, Red Lab Competition as well. Grow Team Racing. Actually, that's 2nd. I can't read. RTR RIC Team Racing number 2 for Roberto J.M. Archer, 4th in LMP2 with a V1M11 of Rico Kallmeyer sitting in 5th. Track Limit Sim Racing Thunderbolt, currently driven by Gregory Meismer in 6th in class. Twin Turn SRS by Rebecca Bornheim, currently driven by Sebastian Eisenberg in the 22, sits 7th in that class. It's Flight Level Racing 757 in the pits right now. Actually, not in the pits, that is out on the track. Anthony Mafushi in the 757. Rescue Skill by WMS, that's Marcus Jung in the 512. And then last car in that class is the 99 of Nuno Ricardo, the Monarch Racing Team entry. Leader in GT Pro, it's Telemetry Racing. Marco Silva in the 68 behind the wheel of that one. Double stint sits 2nd. It is still Sam Spinell. He's been in that car for hours. Grow Team Racing White runs 3rd in GT Pro. Nuno Magalhães behind the wheel of that one. Unitronic Fisher Motorsport sit 4th in that class. That's the 84 car, currently driven by Aaron Beaver. World of Sim Racing 151, driven by Adrian Sevilla, is 5th in GT3 Pro. Blanco Motore, we've seen them leading for much of this last sit. They currently sit 6th. Eric Van Spiker still behind the wheel of that one. Epic Vans Pulsar Esports Team, that is a fun name. They are in 7th in class with Joao Pedro Texera back there in the 73. You've got the Sim City Racing 71. Vincent Herbier back there in 8th. Matco Fisher, it's Daniel Gruber in the 44. 9th in that class, VSR Competition Nero, the sister car of that 7 who's up in GTP, sits 10th. Sergi Martinez Duran behind the wheel of that one. Henry Meitinen in the 112 for Rusty Spatulas Racing is 11th. iRacing Today Motorsports is Christopher Block, sits in 12th in the 157. RTR RIC Team Racing number 1, Marco Valela in the 88. Sitting there in P13, Vulture Motorsports Pro, Errol Orexoy in the 65 for that car in 14. Cedric Gaudreau in the 18 car for Go Win Racing sits 15th, and the last car before you start to get to the GT AM is him. Wastegate Racing number 33, Rhea Sagansi sits in 1st in GT3 AM. You've got Blanco Motor AM with Stevie Amanatitis behind the wheel of that one in P2. Ryan Huff in the 75 car sits 3rd in that class right now. Right behind them is Diego Rodriguez of Team Frida Sport in 4th. Wolf Motorsport Sim Racing, driven by Christopher Limprecht in the 515, sits 5th in that class, ahead of Jesse Molina in the BMW M Team TSR GT AM. 3-car runs in 6th. Daily Kart Market Eras Racing, Giannis Constantin behind the wheel of that one in the 9 car, running 7th in that class. And then it's Jason Brothers in the SWF machine. The 94, Intercom Fisher Motorsports, Rob Kiesair in the 90 in 9th. Off in the S's Racing, Jonathan Duncan, 83 in 10th. Then you got Superstar Racing Team for Dylan Johnson, 17th. Go Win Racing number 19 with, I believe this, Nicholas Go Win in 12th in that class. SRN Motorsports Orange, 74 car, sits 13th. Superstar Racing Team Yellow for Tony Allison sits in 14th in that class in the 4 car. Jason Ketty in the 747 is in 15th. And I believe last car on the track, Vulture Motorsport, 64 of Lucas Santos. That is your entire field. How about that?
I'm looking at the standings, and there are 8 GT3 pros on the same lap. This far into the race, that's impressive. Done a few of these where at this point you might have like 3 or 4 on the same lap, so hats off to those guys. Travis has probably had another reason. He's so excited, he probably had another reason to drink another cup of coffee.
Oh yeah, he's had 2
teams in P1
for,
I was gonna say, someone needs to get a heart rate monitor on that guy for the rest of the race, but
it's not gonna look pretty, I'll tell you that much.
Right now it looks like 2 GT3 AMs on the same lap. After that, it's a handful of guys on the same, handful of teams on the same lap there after them. So yeah, I mean, we've got a little over 8 hours to go. We've got a caution here. Everybody's going to get to reset. Don't normally get a 24-hour event with cautions, so this opens up the whole, like, you could run to the bathroom, give up some track position, you know, that kind of stuff. So be interesting if any of these drivers have spotters, if they're on their own. They're left required by rule to have a spotter. All right.
I'd love to interview some of those spotters by the end of this.
Yeah.
We should pull some of them in here. I know they're supposed to be spotting, but like, I'd love to pull them in here. Pit entry open for all cars at the end of this lap. So that will definitely shake up the running order here, and I think will give us probably quite a few driver changes. I have to imagine some of the cars like Spinell and Bernie, who have been in the pits who've been out on the track for a while, may make that change. Actually, I guess Bernie hasn't been out on the track for that long. I guess I am confusing him with the other Bernie on that team. Jason Bernie in the car fairly recently. Kyle Bernie was the driver before that.
I think we're about to go back to green.
We are gonna run some pit stops first here before we go back around. We've got a
pace car has confused
got a little bit of time left here. And Ted, I think this is gonna sound wrong. I think your time has come to an end.
Yeah, I think it has. It's been a pleasure, Sky, Nolan calling the booth. But yeah, Lucas is going to jump in here and replace me, I believe. But yeah, it's been fun the past 2 hours, and keep it going, everyone. I'll check in when I wake up and see how everything's going.
Thank you for your service. You have been voted off the island. I appreciate you. You've been a great commentator over the last 2 hours. We're going to be joined for the next hour, and probably more than an hour, by Lucas Moody. Lucas, how you doing?
I'm doing good. I got my Celsius in hand, not sponsored, but the kiwi guava flavor, and got 3 hours here, and I'm excited to get going. It's been a great race so far, approaching the 16-hour mark, and we're here for the long haul. Here for the long haul.
I was gonna say, I know for a fact you're in the same time zone as me, and I'm already getting loopy. The fact that you're doing 3 more hours is shocking.
Oh yeah, this is I just finished let's see, long day of queuing Overwatch, and then some more queuing Overwatch after that.
So sorry for you.
And then I queued some more Overwatch. Then I played poker, and now I'm here.
Skytrack Lucas Moody up in the booth. Nolan J. Rempel, I think he's also gonna be heading out after this hour because he has served us very well over the course of his 9 and some change hours that he has been on our broadcast here today. He's been here longer than most of the drivers have been here, I might say. As we are having some pit stops, having some more wave rounds, going to try to get you with some of the driver changes that have occurred, if any, over the course of this pit cycle. Looks like a lot of the drivers up front have decided to hold it fairly steady, as everybody is still all shaken up in the running order right now as we get this all sorted out.
Yeah, and watching this from the sidelines, the past 16 hours, I mean, it's been a treat. There's been battles everywhere, and I mean, there's been a good amount of cautions. But besides that, they've kept it clean, and 8 more hours, and I'm ready for it. I know you got 1 more hour left, Scott, but I'm ready for these. I'm ready for this next day here.
You are ready to go here as we are. You kind of joined us at a rough time because we did have about 2 hours and 40 minutes of green flag racing there, and as soon as you got set to come in, we had a caution, as with some of the changes that are going on with cars exiting the pits. Just taking a look once again at who's in the car. Ran into the broadcast at a very Portuguese time here because I'm noticing that as all of the Americans are going to bed, we've got about 12 different cars representing Portugal in the field right now. A lot of drivers from out there making some good runs at the moment.
Yeah, not only Portugal, I'm seeing Netherlands being represented. I'm seeing Spain as well. Couple Canadians in the field, as well as 4 or 5 Brazilians. I see a Turkish in the field, a German, and I'm trying to spot, and a Finnish as well. Same country Valtteri Bottas is from, who's now joining the F1 26 grid with Cadillac for the first time in a while. So yeah, a lot of nationalities being represented up and down the field, and yeah, it makes sense. It's now getting into those early European hours. It's going to be 7 or 8 a.m. for a lot of those EU guys, depending on what country they're in. So definitely makes sense. They probably went to bed, 6 or 7 hours ago, waking up and ready to start their stint.
Say Lucas Moncla, pretty sure getting ready to go to bed. He was the driver of that 23 twin-turn SRV for a while there. He will step out, and Ryan Surulik will go behind the wheel of that car. 87 car up here, once again in the lead of the LMP2 class at the present moment, according to our timing and scoring. That is the RTR RIC Team Racing 2 car. Roberto Arter, one of the Portuguese drivers behind the wheel of that one, doing pretty well. 3rd place, also another one of his compatriots, Ruben Pinho, behind the wheel of the Grow Racing Team blue car. So we're getting ready to get back going here. Before too much longer, we are on round 2 of wave rounds, and some of the cars who are going to be getting wave rounds include the BMW M Team TSR GTR, driven by Jordi Vermeulen at the moment. Now they're going very fast with it, so I'm having trouble keeping up. The 44 car of Matco Fisher Motorsports, Daniel Gruber, behind the wheel of that one. VSR Competition, Sergey Martinez Duran gets the wave around for that car. Rusty Spatulas Racing, Henry Mietinen gets the wave around. The 554 Red Lab Competition gets the wave around. The 19 car of Go Win Racing with Nicholas Go Win gets the wave around. 9 of Daily Kart Market Airs Racing, Giannis Constantin, wave around. This is more than I thought there was when I started naming them out. Joao Diaz in the number 2 gets a wave around. Number 22, Twin Turn SRS, Sebastian Eisenberg gets one. And then last 2 cars for now, barring more being added to the list, are Jason Brothers for SWF and SRN Motorsports Orange, driven by Jason Hildreth. I think we might get another round of waiver rounds after all this too. So we're gonna have a lot of cars stacked up on the lead lap, some for the first time in a while.
Yeah, it's definitely what's good about this caution. It does bring this race to a slow, and I know that people were psyched about that 2.5 hour run, but I'm sure a lot of these teams are super happy about this wave around, getting their car on the lead lap for the first time in a while. And going back to the flags, I spotted one right as I finished. We have an Algerian in the field as well. Laco Motori AM driving that 283 GT3 car. So many nationalities being represented in the field. Algerian, I'll say, Sky, is not one I've seen in a while, and I had to double check if I was seeing that flag correctly, because long ago, probably 2 or 3 years ago, I got bored in Spanish class or whatever, and I just started memorizing all the flags for no reason. And I was pretty sure it was Algeria when I saw it, but I had to double check because it's just not a flag you see often. But it is indeed Algeria, so shout out to him as well.
I saw a flag. I didn't realize. I didn't recognize, and I was like, "What is that?" And then I realized it was just global. We did have someone in here from Antarctica earlier. We had some penguins driving. We're truly global here in the VSCA for the Maconi setup shop. 24 hours of Daytona. Are we allowed to pull Ryan Surlick into the booth for an interview? Because he's joined the waiting room, but he is also currently on the track. I want to get some confirmation that I am allowed to bring him into the booth before we bring him into the booth. All right, we are allowed to bring Ryan Surlick up into the booth, and we will get him going here in a second. Hey, Ryan, how you doing?
Good, how are you guys?
Pretty good, pretty good. You're going to restart second in the LMP2 class, correct?
I have no idea where I am right now.
Well, you're being scored as second right now, so we'll go with that. What's your plan to try to move yourself up?
Well, I was gonna try and fuel save, but my units got reset to Imperial when I restarted my computer, so I don't know what our fuel save is relative to metric and miles per gallon, or sorry, gallons, but I'm just gonna run flat out. We've been fuel saving most of the time, so you know, just try and build a gap. Lucas is amazing with fuel saving where I'm all right, so if I pass the car to him, well, the strategy will be fixed, but restart should be fun.
Say, how have y'all been feeling about your car so far? Because you've been in that top 5 or 6, I feel like, in LMP2.
Yeah, I mean, we've been, I think, top 3 for a long time. Car feels fine. Love the setup. It's safe enough to where you can push even when fuel saving, I guess. I know those two statements kind of collide a bit, but you really only save into 2 corners. So everywhere else, you're still good enough to push, and it's still, I guess, risky enough or fast enough to fuel save. So
I was going to say, I was looking at your team's laps. You ran the least laps on your team so far, so are you planning to maybe tank more of this overnight stint?
I mean, most of our team is European, whereas me and Lucas are American, and I am one of 2 golds in the lineup for this car, so we have to, you know, plan out how much time the both of us are spending. So if, you know, me taking the night stint, I'm going to take less time compared to the other gold driver, and again, as a gold driver, you're just not going to get as much time, so kind of expected. I don't really mind, just here to have fun. Hopefully win, obviously, but
yeah, hopefully. Thanks so much for joining, Ryan. We'll get you down here for the restart here pretty soon.
Thank you, guys.
Here's Ryan Surlick, currently behind the wheel of the twin-turn SRV. I'll tell you what, they've really improved the radio quality a lot in these cars. He was so clear.
Yeah, it's funny you mentioned that, because I was thinking the first thing I thought when he started talking is, how am I not able to hear his engine? His voice was so clear. It was almost like picture perfect the way his voice was being perfectly broadcasted from that 23 machine. But yeah, we should get going green here within the next 10 minutes, if I'm not mistaken. And with the group being bunched up and all these cars getting back on the lead lap, Sky, I'm expecting some pretty good battles here once we get racing.
Yeah, I think we're going to see some really good racing here over the next couple hours from Daytona. Hopefully we get a pretty good green flag run going for you here over the next, 3 hours that you're in the booth. I think that would be a lot of fun for everybody involved, really. And then we can send it over to Howie Burrows, and he will have a great time with the green flag racing, I'm sure. Last time I did a 24-hour with our next producer, Howie Burrows, it was not great. It was a lot of cautions, and he was going insane.
Yeah, cautions are always hit or miss when it comes to talking through them, because there's some times where you have just a lot you want to talk about, like fuel strategies, tire strategies, and that caution's good to slow everything down and give you time to talk about everything. But in a 24-hour race, there's not as much to talk about, and those cautions, they can definitely drag on, and when we get green flag going, you can get the 3 wide with the back markers. You get some good battles for the lead and everything. So definitely excited to get going racing again.
So we're lined up in an order. I'm saying that because the 18, the Go Win racing car of Cedric Gaudreau, is going to effectively be our pace car here. So we've got 3 cars in the GTP AM class lined up in front of an LMP2, lined up in front of another GT3 AM car, lined up in front of 2 GT AM cars, a GT Pro car, the race leader, an LMP2, the second place. So are we gonna be doing a class sort? Okay, that will make sense here, because they were telling him, they told me the 18 was the pace car, and I'll be honest with you, I got very confused.
Yeah, so class sorts is what we're going through right now, and once they get it all sorted out, that's when we can get some more racing for you guys and take a time. I can take some time to read chat now, I believe, as well. So I'll say you're welcome to Caden. And yeah, I mean, yeah, definitely as well, getting green through your entire 3-hour stint. That is a gift sent from heaven there. As soon as I open Discord and open the stream, the caution comes out. So it was not Sky that brought the caution out. It was actually me, unfortunately, because as soon as I start watching the stream, within 5 minutes, that caution comes out, and I feel super bad for that.
Yeah, you've cursed us with your hubris.
Hubris is, I saw that word in chat.
I think it was referring to me.
Okay, I don't know what a hubris is though.
It is like ego, I think.
Oh, okay.
I had manifested 3 hours and 40 minutes exactly of green flag racing, and it came out at 2 hours 40, and I said close enough, and the consensus from chat was that was not close enough.
I mean,
it was the longest green flag run of the race.
That is, and you're off by exactly an hour. Like, you got the minutes right, is what I find impressive.
No, I
think that is close enough.
They just didn't hear me. I should have manifested a little louder for next time.
All right, we have some GT cars driving around here, and
yeah, I'm not gonna name out every car that's getting a wave round because they've given about half the field a wave round, and we'll be here for another hour. But I can tell you, it is cars number 18, 747, 420, 83, 17, 157, 183, 21, 23, 14, 55, 68, 24, 20, 88, 30, 84, 10, 512, 57, and 11. So if you are, and 64. So if you are supporting one of those cars, you have gotten a wave around. 757 added to the list. We're still going. Yeah, I believe this will be the final round of wave rounds. This is the 3rd round of wave rounds. The 90, the 4 car, both receiving them. 99 car receiving them.
It's math class with all the numbers being thrown around, not only from you, but from the people in chat right now talking about percentages. And of course we have Derek now calculating the exact percentage. Sky, you're 27.27272727%.
Derek, you're gonna need to add 25% of to my paycheck for every time you spelled my name wrong on the ticker. All right.
Oh my gosh, so many numbers being thrown around. My math classes ended Friday. I don't want to think about math until Monday.
This is why I switched out of being a STEM major. I do not need to do math anymore.
I heard you talking about the 8 a.m. class, and I could not understand. I had a 9 a.m. last semester, and it made me want to pull my hair out.
Yeah, no, I have 8 a.m. climate and meteorology or something, and it's, yeah, no, count me out.
No. But I mean, that seems pretty relevant to your major, though, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, I know I've switched. I'm journalism now.
Oh, okay, gotcha. Okay.
I'll put that stuff out of there. I would say we haven't called a race together in like 2 years. We're catching up now.
It has been a while. Yeah, we're just catching up on air in front of everybody.
This is deep cut lore. Last time me and Lucas Moody called a race together, we called a prototype enduro style race at Watkins Glen. It was approximately 3 days after rain came out on iRacing. The league set it to the max rain setting. There were 3 finishers.
It was the craziest race I've ever seen, ever casted, ever been a part of. It was the clear winner. Not only spun out before the rain came out, but also multiple times when the rain.
I forgot about that. Yeah, he won. We had a driver in that league who had won the first 7 consecutive races, and before the rain even started, he just like blew through the chicane and crashed into a wall and DNF'd. Like it was mind-blowing stuff.
I still remember the finishing order. It was a St. Clair College 1-3-4 with Athena Leclerc winning the race, Drew Williams second, Alan Hogg coming in 4th, and a Zach DeWell coming in 3rd.
Can I? Do the St. Clair still race there? Can I leak the drama?
I don't. I think there's like maybe a couple, but I'm pretty sure I know what you're referring to.
I was gonna say, yeah. That race was wild. One of the cars one of the cars violated the 107% rule. We didn't check, and then they got a podium. Wild race.
Yeah. Or I think it was there was speculation that one team had a driver hop in for somebody else and set the 107% rule. And that driver then finished very high in the standings because everybody else died.
Is CIL actually coming to Green Flag TV? There you go. We're talking about the Collegiate iRacing League coming to Green Flag TV soon. I would assume this semester, correct? Lucas, you're still in the league, so you would know.
Yes, I believe it is. I don't know how much I'm allowed to say. I guess Nolan or Derek will cut me off if I say too much.
Well, Derek just told, I know this because Derek just told me, so.
Okay, cool. But yeah, I will be returning to CIL, casting Monday night races, which will be fun. I'll get to cast the ovals for the first time since I think the Daytona 250 in my freshman semester, so that would have been 2024. The Daytona 250 was the last time I casted a Monday night CIO race, and I will be returning to that, which will be very fun. And other drama, Sky, is Ball State, just this semester, I know as of like 2 days ago, are pulling out of the CIL.
All right, I'm just going to send this to my team real quick, and we will, I didn't know that. You're telling me now for the very first time.
Yeah, I'm sure I'm okay saying that because it's pretty set in stone at this point, and it would have been found out eventually. But yeah, at Mario Miranda, at John Hagen.
Yep. No, John Hagen transferred, I fear. It's just Mario Miranda now. He's currently tearing up the eNASCAR College Series for North Central Texas College.
Okay, yeah, so I'll run through all those stream dates. Monday night's going to be the Collegiate Cup Series, of course, being in the Gen 7. Wednesday night is going to be the Collegiate SportsCar Championship, which is IMSA, so that's GTP, GT3, and those LMP2 cars. And Thursday night, we're returning to the IndyCar for Formula Collegiate, so it's going to be great races. I do have this schedule here, and I'm going to read out the entire thing to kill time, because we have all the time in the world right now.
I think we're somewhat close to getting rolling here pretty soon. I think we've got the pacing line sorted out. I think.
Yeah, that is good to hear, but you never know with this. I do like to see a GTP leading the field. That means we're at least somewhat close-ish.
If you
the good thing.
If you enjoy my commentary, you can check out Collegiate iRacing League. I got my start there doing solo 2.5-hour prototype races for 12 cars years ago in CIL. And look at me now.
Yeah, I think that was my first. Okay, I think CIL was my second ever cast. Would have been that Daytona 250 I was talking about with Zach Lindler. My first ever cast. This is deep lore. I was actually a cameraman for my high school's broadcasting team, and they needed a fill for color commentary of a football match. So I just said, you know what? I guess I'll step up and do it. I did theater. I felt like I was pretty presentable. So that was my first ever cast. Would have been 2022, probably around September. And now look where I've come.
Yeah, it's been a long way. Come a long way.
It really has, yeah. I've casted at this point. I know you do a lot of stuff for OU as well. I've probably casted 100 hours at this point for Ball State Esports, which is insane. So many lands, so many dead voices after those lands. It is insane. Do not cast 9 hours of Valorant. I don't recommend that to anybody. I don't wish that on anybody. But I took a stab at 9 hours of Valorant in one day, and I think I was eating cough drops for the next week after that.
I was saying, we were talking about hockey earlier. I do hockey for OU now, so that's pretty fun. We have a hockey team. We are going to do one more lap under the pace car, at least. But we are, there is hope of getting that going here pretty soon after. I believe we are on over 30 minutes into this caution. It's been a long one here as the admins have gotten everything sorted out.
Yeah, and then skipping forward to CIL, I'll run just through.
Yeah, you can go through the whole schedule. We got time.
Yeah, I'll go through. So the 26th, we have the Cup car around Charlotte Motor Speedway. The 29th, we have the IndyCar. Why is it out of order? I read it out of order. That's my bad. The 28th, we have the IMSA League around Daytona Road. So just like this you're seeing right now. And then the 29th, we have the IndyCar around Laguna Seca. I think the notable races. We'll go down CCS, the Collegiate Cup Series. So that NASCAR series can be Charlotte Motor Speedway to Chicagoland to Rockingham for the first time, I think, in CIL history. Then to Daytona, Kansas Auto Club, Kentucky, Darlington, Mexico Street Circuit, Autodromo Hermanas Rodriguez, Echo Park Speedway, so New Atlanta, then Atlanta Motor Speedway, Old Atlanta. That's going to be interesting. Back-to-back Atlantas, and then Homestead, Miami Speedway for the last race of the season. The IndyCar will be running around Laguna Seca, Auto Club, driver vote between either the Miami GP or COTA, then the 500, then the road course of Indianapolis, then the 500, then Long Beach, and then a driver vote between, I believe that's Worldwide Technology Raceway or Legacy Phoenix, Barber, Brazil, and then a driver vote between St. Petersburg, Chicago Road Course, Texas, and then it wraps up at Watkins Glen. The SportsCar Series is a much quicker read. Daytona Road, Fuji, driver vote between Mexico, Barcelona, and Portimao. Sebring. Yeah, that's definitely three.
Go Mexico, right, Mexico, please.
Has to be, definitely has to be, because Spain is just, yeah, it's one of those tracks. And then. Okay, so yeah, then Spa, and then the 24 hours of Le Mans. So that's going to be also an interesting series. But no Interlagos, unfortunately, in that SportsCar Championship, which is my favorite, personally, my favorite road course in the iRacing game.
We had CIL. That's all CIL Collegiate iRacing. It's all coming to a Green Flag TV near you here in the spring semester. We had some great, I remember when I was commentating CIL, we had some great Interlagos races, especially in the sports cars. The Formula cars were cool, but the sports cars at Interlagos were so much fun every time we ran those. We get ready to go back green. We'll find out here. They do announce it in voice chat, but unfortunately mine is not currently working at the moment. It does not appear that Daniel Campos is hitting the gas, so we will do one more around here. They launch out of the bus up on the backstretch, so we will still do one more, but we will find out on the backstretch this time.
Okay, yeah, so there has been a little bit of drama in between race control and some of the drivers on track, but they're getting that sorted out. They're getting the proper lead car in the actual lead, and now that I'm out of CIL races to run down, I don't know what else to say. I think I'm just out of words until we can get racing again.
Not having 3 hours of CIL means you can't have 3 hours of Overwatch.
I've been thinking that. And I've been pretty happy because my mental health with racing the past like 3 semesters hasn't been the greatest, and I've finally decided that this is my last semester, and next year for my senior year I'll be focusing fully on Overwatch.
There you go.
But yeah, for this semester, Alif is just planning on having us just do some ranked races together, which should be pretty fun.
Yeah, iRacing, doing collegiate iRacing is like a surefire way to end your mental health. We will be getting the restart this lap. So we're going to go back arena out of the bus stop this time, but first is the VSCA Sports Car Championship schedule. We are at Daytona Road Course right now for the Maconi Setup Shop, 24 hours at Daytona. We will then go to the Long Beach Street Circuit, Sebring International Raceway, WeatherTech Raceway at Laguna Seca, VIR, Canadian Tire, Homestead Road Course, that's a fun one, Watkins Glen, and our season will conclude in August at Road America. It's a pretty solid schedule of races. Once again, Maconi Setup Shop, the title sponsor. We'll get you the read later when we're not about to go green, but $8 a month. Go to MaconiSetupShop.com and you can get yourself some setups. As Daniel Campos will take us back from the lead. Martinez Sanchez will go from second. Jason Burney will go from third. And we are off once again here in the Maconi Setup Shop, VSCA 24 hours at Daytona. Daniel Campos with a good start over 8X Martinez Sanchez in the 51 World of Sim Racing team car. Jason Burney third right now in that 32. Sven Albrecht fourth. Martin Marconi fifth. We're already racing a little bit further back here. Christopher Daniel and Pax Simsport is that next car in line. Everybody will make it clean down through turn 1, and the next class up will be the LMPs.
Yeah, we do have a battle going on here between these two P2 cars. That purple car is sending it down the inside of 1. Gets the move completed. That looks to be for second place. Also further down in the pack, we have some GTs fighting it out. That's going to be the 720 versus that Porsche, or that's a Corvette, excuse me, between the Porsche GT3 RSs, and many battles happening in turn 1. This is what I like to see. The first green flag moments that I get to be casting here, we're already getting some nice battles down in the turn 1.
Yeah, all those drivers up front have seemed to made it away pretty cleanly, but then you've got some more chaotic racing a little further back in the field as drivers try to get their way back up the field. Guys who have just gotten back on the lead lap racing with some of those more lap down cars at the moment. Battle trying to go a little bit deeper back in the field. We've got a GT Pro car racing with a GT Am car. Rodrigo Moreos in the RTR RIC Team Racing 1, number 88, has just gotten clear of, some contact. Again, further back here, Christopher Block and Benjamin Fisher just got into it. That is 4th position in GT Am. A lot of racing back there in that GT field, GT Am and GT Pro field right now. We're side by side with quite a few cars in there.
Yeah, and it looks to be in, that GT Pro and that GTN field, both of those gaps from first to second are under a second, as we already have a GTP car trying to get through some lap traffic and sending it 3 wide right before the bus stop. I mean, that is just so sketchy.
There's
side
the
by
spin.
side. That's never going to end well. So red car takes right into the inside tire barrier there.
This is the
Seems to be
157
getting it out
car.
okay.
That is the iRacing Today Motorsports VSCA of Christopher Block. I said he was right in the middle of all that. And that's a heavy hit there. Off some contact with Curtis Schreiber in the 57 car, who was a lap ahead of him in that GT Pro class. That's gonna be some damage for sure on that 157.
And unfortunately, that moves that car down to the 12th place in class now. So losing out on a bunch of spots there as we're still side by side to turn 1. That's the 515 on the outside of the 33. Westgate Racing versus Wolf Motorsports Sim Racing. They're going to get it sorted out, but not before they get to the International Horseshoe. Once again, the 515 looking for the inside, not able to get it, and Westgate Racing holds on to that second.
Yeah, it's always scary watching these LMP2s, watching these GTP cars go flying through this class of GT cars, because, I mean, these GT cars have been so close all night long. You've got so much good racing going on in that pack. Even right now, Marco Silva in the 68 for Telemetry Racing, 1 spot ahead of Nuno Magalhaes for Grow Racing Team White, and they're right in that battle with Eric Van Spijker as well. So 3 cars under a blanket here. This is from about 4th on back in GT Pro. You've got that Blocco Motore car. It's been up in the top 3 for much of the night in GT Pro. Now running back in 4th and falling under threat from a couple cars.
Yeah, in this GT Pro class, we have a 3-way battle for 1st, a 3-way battle for 4th. Both of those battles are separated by about 8 or 9 seconds, it looks like, but both of those respective battles are absolutely intensifying here. 7.5 hours left in this race, and it's kind of approaching that time where you've done a lot of your fuel saving, you've done a lot of your management. We're now over 67% of the way into the race. It's time to start making some moves, get a little aggressive.
I'm so glad you picked up where I left off on making 6-7 jokes. I don't think you heard me make. I don't think you heard me make any of the 4 or 5 that I made earlier on in this broadcast. Nolan hates me as we continue to get racing in this GT3 Pro class. Still no moves made yet. Vince Fitchker is actually going to face a little bit of a threat from Marco Silva, who's trying that outside down to inside line to maximize his momentum out of the corner. Words become hard after 3.5 hours, but driving is still looking pretty easy for the 68 of Marco Silva all over the bumper. We'll try a big send around the outside of Van Spijker into the corner, held up a little bit by Cedric Gaudreau a lap down in front of him, but Silva has the line. He holds that 183 car down, and he gets the move.
Yeah, that is a great move around the outside there. It's not one you see often, but he was just able to brake later, carry that momentum around that second horseshoe, and pulled it off absolutely in brilliant fashion. And going back to the 6-7 joke, it's so funny because when you look online, you see that it's all the little kids, it's all the elementary schools, the middle schoolers. 6-7 runs rampant on college campuses. I was just in a dining hall the other day just trying to get some food, and I hear somebody walking past me saying, I was with a friend, I think he was talking to his girlfriend, and he asked her, what comes after 6? And I just yell 7 and start moving my hands up and down. It really is just like an entire environment on college campuses built around these two completely random numbers.
Man, what happens in Ball State? What do y'all do over there?
We eat a lot of corn, and we watch our football team lose a lot.
I go to Oklahoma. I can't make it fun of me. We have Vince Fitchker trying to get almost a moment there. Marco Silva almost got into the back of, I believe he did get into the back of Dylan Johnson in the 17 Superstar Racing Team car. That was a close moment for those drivers right there. Vince Fitchker trying to work his way through in 5th for Blocco Motore, clear out some of these slower GT3 AM cars so we can get back in pursuit of Silva. Benjamin Fisher not too far behind this battle either. Neither is Sergi Martinez Duran. Not a good racing in GT Pro. And a battle building for the lead of LMP2 as well. Ruben Pinho out in front there on that 14 Grow Racing Team blue car holds that spot right now over Roberto Arter for RIC Team Racing 2. That 87 car has closed the gap down to under half a second. He's starting to climb, starting to pursue Pinho.
Yeah, now Archer is going to have that slipstream, that draft, all the way down this back straight here, all the way across the start-finish line, and that pulls him to just under 0.3 of a second. It's going to be as they cross the line. Not going to go for a move just yet. Going to tend to brake a little bit earlier, though. Maybe can find some traction out of turn 2 here. And Sky, maybe, just maybe, he wants to look for a lunge in either of these horseshoes. But as they approach turn 3, that 14 still square on to the lead.
Battles building everywhere. Battle for the lead of LMP2. Battle for the lead of GT Pro right now as well, as Joao Pedro Texera has caught up to the back of Vincent Laherbier in the 71 car. It's the Epic Vans Pulsar Esports Team machine getting down to the inside, and he will make that move easily down there into turn 1. Vincent Laherbier pulls out in the SimCity Racing 71 car. He'll drop back to 2nd. And now Texera has the lead of the GT Pro class in that 73 cars. Look at this stack up behind them as cars make their way down through the S's. This is a big battle in GT Pro. A lot of cars involved in this one, and a lot of cars trying to lap cars involved in this one.
It is a battle for 5th. It's between 6 cars there. 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th, and 10th, all under a blanket here. And look at that as they go through, I believe that's turn 5. They're just looking for fresh air, looking for opportunities on the guys ahead, but they all know at this point in the race, they want to be aggressive, but they also have to play it safe. Here's a lunge from 6th place and the 5th. It's going to put him under attack, though, from the 24 behind. And we have a lot of swapping. Just one move failed is going to put multiple cars under attack here. That's going to be Grow Racing Team White getting past the Rusty Spatula.
Daniel Gruber in that 44 car has that spot down. And we might have another lead and another battle for the lead in GTP Pro coming here, because Vincent Herbier is right back up on the bumper of Texera, and he's got a lot of slipstream here as they make their way through NASCAR turns 3 and 4. Got battles absolutely all over this GTP Pro class. You cannot take your eyes away from it. Blanco Mottore's going at it right here. This is battle for P5. Blanco Mottore in the 183 car. Still got Aaron Van Spijker behind the wheel of that one. Vincent Herbier just made a send for the lead, wasn't able to get it. He'll sit in second. And now we'll see what Van Spijker can do as they make their way across the start-finish line. He'll back out. Duran holds that spot. Now further back, we're still side-by-side going in. This is Gruber and Magalhaes back here, also racing for position, and Nuno Magalhaes holds that spot over the 44 car.
Yeah, Magalhaes almost under a lot of pressure there from Fisher, but he took that inside line, held it through turn 1, held it through 3, just like that, and he kind of just backed that Porsche off, not allowing that 44 to find any clean air. Now going back to the battle for the lead in this GTD Pro class, it is once again Silva on Cebuela here, excuse me, as once again, as they approach this straightaway, that 71 car is going to get a great slipstream all the way to the bus stop chicane, and if Cebuela is able to get a good exit out of the bus stop, he's going to have a massive tow down that back straight and might look for something into turn 1, which I hope he does, because I would love to see a good battle for the lead here.
Sanchez is now looking for the battle for the lead in GTP as well, under half a second down there, as Daniel Campos continues to hold the... Oh, Daniel Gruber! Whoa! Contact with Nuno Magalhaes down there. This is for that spot, and Gruber is going to power his way through, more through force than anything else. He'll take that position away.
I mean, that was insane. He gave him a little love tap, told him to kindly back off, and just sent it through the bus stop chicane. In that 24 car, now Lear, that's going to be Magalhaes driving that one, as that battle for the lead between Herbier and Texera didn't really come to fruition as I thought it might have, as once again the 24 car looking really antsy here, sends it in deep, trying to look for a move on that green 44 Porsche, not finding anything on that occasion.
While we were watching the mayhem in GT Pro, GTM is a new leader, Ryan Huff, in the 75 back up front. In that one, he was up front for so much of the early portion of this 4-hour block of the race. He's now back up in the 75 car to the lead of that class. Battle for the lead ongoing as these drivers make their way through lap traffic. Daniel Campos moving like a knife through butter through that traffic, and he's now got a 1.3 second gap to Martinez Sanchez, who did not get through as cleanly and is trapped behind about 3 or 4 GT cars there.
As Campos doing a much better job of getting through all of that lap traffic, allows him to pull a 1 second gap onto Sanchez behind. As now we look on board the 3rd place runner of that LMP2 class, that is going to be Dylan Babcock, as he's now having to drive around some traffic. And with the battle, he's actually kind of in no man's land right now. He doesn't have Pinho until 18 seconds up the road, and Mundell is going to be 19 seconds, excuse me, back behind him, as he's going to look to fight through some traffic there. As we cut back to this GTD AM battle, it looks like a battle for lead race now.
That is the battle for the lead forming right here in GTM. Reyes Agansi right back up to the bumper of Ryan Huff. Both of these drivers have been fast all race long in these cars. It's the Wastegate Racing 33 of Sagansi, the sister car to that Wastegate car that led so much of the GTP class in this race. Both of these drivers in action Acuras as they try to make their way on the inside line while getting lapped by a lot of cars outside of him. Martin Marconi, one of them there in that 7 car, trying to close himself back up to the lead. Bad run for Marconi is going to really interfere with this battle here because now Saganski's got that car to the inside. He's got to take a weird line, and now there's 2 cars separating your GTM leaders, and it's a pretty big gap, just like that.
Yeah, that's what these drivers have to be careful about. That is the draw to IMSA, is that you have to fight through lap traffic. You have to know how to do it appropriately. And now we have a battle for 3rd in the P2 class. That's Babcock looking to defend in Fury Simport LMP versus the guy behind Kyle Mundell, as he is going to be able to defend through 1 and 2 and able to pull out a little bit more of a gap entering turn 3 and now through turn 4. Going to be hard to look for that guy behind on any moves into 5, as he's just gonna have to bide his time, see if he can find something down these back straightaways.
This battle is still going as that V1 M11 car is gonna look to the outside, now trying to get a closer to the bottom, run off the corner. If he can get a good run through turn 7 here, he'll have a decent shot on the NASCAR oval because you're able to get such a large slipstream coming out of here. See what that 11's able to do. Oh, it's not really a good run at all. That'll hurt any chance he might have had of catching him by the time they get to that chicane. He'll still get the draft. Not as much as it could have been, though, if he had a better run out of that corner. And penalty to the 65 car. I believe that is an incident point limit hit. Going out for Vulture Motorsports Pro, Errol Orexoy behind the wheel of that one.
Yeah, these guys have to be careful about those instant point limits. Not only do you get 2 X's for contact or spinning with other cars, but those 1 X's, that bus stop chicane is so easy to 1X by just barely tapping the grass on the exit or the entry there. So you have to be careful. You have to use your off tracks wisely, and you always got to be keeping an eye on how many instant points you're at because it is very unforgiving. You can't take them away, and just a couple too many slip-ups is going to be a penalty for that machine.
And I'll tell you what, this caution really changed the state of the race for the 51 World of Sim Racing team car. When we started this stint about 4 hours ago, that car was a lap down. It looked out of it. It had no hope. And then a couple good stints behind the wheel of that 51 car, not only from Martinez Sanchez, currently behind the wheel of that, but from other drivers. Danny Fonte was behind the wheel of that car for a long time. They managed to get their lap back on speed. That car was fast, but it was still about a minute out of it. This caution has brought the field back together, and now Sanchez is putting a great run in that 51 car in. Has that thing from in a second recovered from a lap down back in 7th.
Whoa, it looked like that 296 had to go below the double yellows there to try to get around a lapped car. Is so much hairy stuff going on. This is a battle for first between the GTMs as we cut back to this battle for 3rd between the P2s. Still, once again, Babcock versus Mundell going at it. Mundell has just kind of been in this 4/10 of a second gap of Babcock these last 5 or 6 laps now. He's just not able to find the slipstream, but this might be it. He's gonna look to the outside. Down the back straight they go. He's looking for the side draft into turn 1. Is he gonna send it? Into turn 1 they go. It's the 11 on the outside of the 30. They're now going to cross the start-finish line. He's still there side by side, but I don't think he has it, Scott.
No, the 11 car had to back out there, wasn't able to generate what he would have wanted in order to actually get that move done. He'll reset. He'll try to work on it here down through these next set of corners. Won't be able to get it through the horseshoe, but maybe, just maybe, we'll have something coming up. Here's about a little further back. You got that 21 car, GTM, continuing to have great racing like it's had all night long. You got the 94 SWF Motorsports car in here. You got the BMW, Jesse Molina, Jason Brothers, Diego Rodriguez in the Team Frida car, all doing battle. Lucas Santos is a couple laps down, but he's 1 spot behind these drivers as well. The lead in GT3 AM is also getting close, with Ryan Huff out front by less than half a second over Reyes Saganski, who himself is less than half a second ahead of Giannis Konstantin. So some battles starting to form back there as well. Great racing all throughout the field here.
that gap between Campos and Sanchez as we cut to a replay. This looks to be the 13 of Sergio Martinez. Duran, does he take too much curve at the bus stop? Yes, he does. Loops it around, does a perfect pirouette, and it looks like he's going to be able to get back onto the racing surface with no harm, no foul there. But that gap, yeah, between Campos and Sanchez was under half a second just 10 laps ago. It is extended by 3 seconds now, as I don't know if Sanchez had a problem getting through lap traffic. Campos just really found some pace there. But that battle between those top two GTP cars is going to be stripped away from us, unfortunately. As here we go, the 11 around the 30, able to make that move. It has been in the makings for so long, but Mundell finally able to find a way around the outside of turn 1.
Power move for Kyle Mundell there in the 11 car to get around Dylan Babcock there, running 4th in that class, and he can't count out the car behind him just yet. Ryan Surlick, we talked to him under that caution in the 23 twin-turn SRV, currently running 5th in that LMP2 class, and he is trying to get around both of these cars. He was a 1.5 seconds faster than both the 30 and the 11 last time around. He's going to be slower now that he's caught the bumper of these two cars, but he's clearly got some speed in that LMP2. Watch for him to make some moves, because he is the fastest car in class right now.
Yeah, as that fastest lap still belongs to that 7 machine, Martin Marconi, and of course VSR Competition Bianco. So watch out, that car, he's currently 18 seconds off of the leader, but if they're able to find that pace they had earlier in this race, they might be able to bring that gap down, look for the move on Sanchez, and also look for that overall win in the class win, of course, because it is a GTP. As still looking back in the LMP2 field, it's that 30 machine trying to defend from the 23. It is Cyrillic trying to overtake Babcock, as Babcock just lost out that place to Mundell. Cyrillic trying to make it 2 places lost out for Babcock. He's going to go around the outside, past the start-finish straight they go, and Cyrillic has the speed to power out, gets it done before they even make it to turn 1. Now Cyrillic can turn his sights to Kyle Mundell.
You mentioned the speed there from Martin Marconi. He's been out of it. He came into the car. Actually, we'll watch this battle first, because this is getting really good for P3 with that 23 car now up on the inside of Kyle Mundell. Can Cyrillic get the 2-for-1 here in just about 2 corners? He's certainly got the momentum, and it looks like he might be able to power around there. He'll have the inside lane, but he has a GT3 in the way. It's going to slow him down, and they might split this car 3 wide here. He thought about it. Mundell almost did it, but he'll have to settle in behind Ryan Cyrillic, who has that car up in 3rd in LMP, as we've got a moment further back for Christopher Limprecht running 7th in GT Am. He's going to loop it here in turn 1. That could have been a lot worse.
Yeah, I just think he took turn 1 a little too wide, barely dipped his right side tires into the marbles, lost all grip in his car, realized he did, just got on the brakes and just said, before I spin, before I majorly damage my car into the wall, I'm going to cut my losses. As Dylan Johnson looping his 720S for Superstar Racing, that's going to delegate him to 13th in class.
Had some contact there as well, which is absolutely under no circumstances going to help him. We'll see that right here once again on the replay. It's been a quick one. We're watching, this is Limprecht again. This is going to be Jason Hildreth. Let's see. We'll find it. We'll find it for you. Here we go. We'll get there. There we go. Jason Hildreth loops it out of turn 7. That is not a bad spin. He saved it pretty well. I was going to say Martin Marconi, he's had problems in that car. I don't know if he's just not driving with the setup or what's going on, but that car was the class of the field. It was absolutely lights out for a good 2 hours with his teammate Sergi Lazare behind the wheel. Then Martin Marconi got in the car, and that thing sunk like a rock. Went from a dominant first-place machine back to 3rd or 4th, where it sat for much of the last, I would say, hour or 2. I think if they want that speed back in the 7, they might have to put Sergi Lazare back in the car. He was lights out, fastest driver in the field.
Yeah, you mentioned the setup, which is a really, really good point, because different drivers have very different driving styles, and if the setup kind of suits one driver over the other, it's going to appear that that driver is much, much quicker than the other, when really it's just a difference in setup. It's not a difference in setup, but it's a different in how you want to drive the car. And because they're not allowed to change the setup in between drivers, because one, it would take too long, two, it would be completely outrageous to do. Some setups are going to favor others much more. So yeah, definitely a really good point in bringing up that setup where some drivers like a more understeery car, some drivers like a more oversteery car. Is I believe we have a pit stop, as I believe that's a 296 coming down pit lane. I wasn't able to catch who though.
Yeah, one of a couple. I mean, we are probably getting to the point here after the green flag where we might see some cars that come down the pit road. I mean, they ran about 8 or 9 laps just under caution after pit stops occurred, which I'm sure has done a number on the fuel number for quite a few of the cars here in this field as we continue to do a little bit of racing through this mid-pack. Penalty for Roberto Arter in the LMP2 class. I believe that might be an incident point run. He is running 5th in class, so that is going to be a very impactful penalty for that 87 car.
And I am seeing now that it was Roberto Arter that did come down pit road. That was the Ferrari that we saw making his way into the box, and he is going to have to serve the penalty that you talked about. Either it could have been maybe speeding into the way of pit lane, or another case of too many incident points and having to serve a stop and go or a drive-through, whatever it might be. Switching back to that battle for the lead in the GTP class, it was just 3.5 seconds. I look back at it, it's under 1.5 seconds now, and that's one of the coolest parts about IMSA racing, is that depending on where you catch lap traffic, where you catch these P2 cars, these GT3 cars, it can all make the difference in these huge gap swings. As you see, Campos losing 2 seconds there to Sanchez just in a couple laps. So if that continues to go on the trend it has been, we could see a battle for the GTP lead fairly soon here, which I would absolutely love to see. I love watching battles for the lead, especially when it's between two of those prototype cars that are so blisteringly quick.
I'm going to make a bold manifestation, a bold prediction, one they're not going to see coming. A Delara wins the LMP2 class.
Ooh, that's controversial. I don't know if you can be saying that.
I see it. I see the vision. Look, I've got about 5 minutes left. I'm loopy. I'm going straight to bed after this. You know, it's been a late night. I'm surviving on Dr. Pepper right now. I'm having a great time.
You're getting loopy, about to go to bed. I just opened a Celsius. We're all having a
good luck for the next 2 hours. You're going to bed at 4 a.m. That is going to be an adventure for you.
5 a.m.
Oh, yeah, because you're Eastern team. Even worse.
Oh, you're Central, aren't you? Yeah,
yes.
You're in Oklahoma. Yeah.
I don't know why I thought y'all were Central, too.
I think
your
Illinois,
state is
next state over. Yeah, next state over would be Central. Speaking of Illinois, did anybody in chat see that Bears Packers game? If you did, please.
No, I was still here, unfortunately, Lucas.
Oh no.
I've been here. They got me locked in.
I've been here for 30 years. They won't let me leave. They won't feed me.
I'm cooked. Okay. Battle for the lead ongoing. Daniel Campos, Adix, Martinez, Sanchez. This has been closing in for a while now. Sanchez has been slowly getting up to Daniel Campos there in that 12 car as the battle continues to get closer and closer and closer. It was 2 seconds at the line last time by, but some trouble with some lap traffic has really dropped that gap down under 0.3 of a second. As we head down into turn 1, they're going to have to navigate some lap traffic with an LMP2. And that lap traffic is going to give quite a big gap to Martinez Sanchez there. He'll put that back over half a second.
Yeah, but it is crazy that gap between those top 2 GTP cars. I feel like I keep talking about it, but it is swinging so heavily, so quickly, as though it's a really tight move there for Campos as he's trying to squeeze past these GT3 cars as quickly as he possibly can, because he knows that Sanchez is on his tail and chasing him for the lead of this race, and you do not want to lose the lead of the race when you are in the car. That is one of the worst feelings. You feel like you let down your teammates. You feel like your heart just sinks when you lose the lead, even if you know you're off pace for your teammates. It just really sucks. So Campos is going to be defending against Sanchez for his life, is my prediction here.
Pit stops have been very underway in the GT Pro class, especially for a while now. And a couple cars coming in as this battle continues on for the lead. We can get to those driver changes a little bit later on, but for now, Sanchez still right behind Campos, and they've got to navigate some more lap traffic. Looks like Campos should get around pretty clearly on the top side. And that'll also break a little bit of the toe that Sanchez had. He's not going to have nearly as much of a run this time into turn 1.
Yes, not only is there a battle for lead in the GTP class, you look to the other prototypes, that LMP2, Surlik now has closed in to under 8/10 of a second onto Ruben Pinho. We saw, I believe 10 laps ago, Surlik get past Mundell and get past Babcock as well. He's used his pace to great measure here, closed up to that lead. And I assume that right about the turn of the hour, you might be seeing a battle for not only the lead in the GTP, but also that LMP2 car as well.
And as we start to wrap it up here, we're getting ready to move into the next set of hours in this race. So we're going to take you on board with the 51 car of 8X Martinez Sanchez, and we're going to get everything switched over. We will be going to a new stream. So if you go to the Green Flag TV page, you can find that. It might roll over automatically, it might not. YouTube does weird things, but you can click on it. It'll be the next 4 hours here on Green Flag TV, and we'll see you back very soon.